Well, welcome to this special sports showcase event on Harford TV. I'm Don Morrison. My pleasure to be at Ripken Stadium, home of the Aberdeen Ironbirds, for this non-conference high school baseball showdown between the Fallston Cougars of the Public School Uckback Tidings Division and the John Carroll Patriots from the Maryland Independent Athletic Association A Conference. It's the annual Josh Hamer Memorial Baseball game. We'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. Now, get set to have the stage tonight. It's a meeting between the defending Region 2A champion Fallston Cougars under 17th year head coach Grant Morlock and the John Carroll Patriots, coached by 9th year head man Darian Seiler. Piloted the Pats last year to a 14-10 record just 1 year ago in that very tough A conference of the MIAA. Patriots will return all 9 of their starters from the team that went through their tough time last year with some injuries. The Cougars have just one starter back off that team last year that won the region championship. With me, my partner Ray Ruse. Ray subbing for Tim Lindekamp. Tim has a family situation tonight. Ray, welcome.
Thank you.
Cougars, it should be a great game. We're looking forward to it.
Should be a great game, great event.
I'm really so pleased that the Ripken Stadium folks here invite the John Carroll Josh Hamer group every year to come and stage this game as a major fundraiser going toward the Josh Hamer Fund. Ray, a left-hander pitching for Fallston tonight. That's one thing I think Fallston has going in their favor. A young man by the name of Reese Conley. Now, Reese didn't pitch a lot last year, but he's being counted on this year. Talk about what it's like for a team to face a left-hander as opposed to facing right-handers.
So at this level, there's just far less left-handed pitchers, and it's not like minor league baseball or pro baseball where they have a roster large enough to say these players match up well against a lefty, these match up well against a righty. You see them less, so there's more of an adjustment. And I don't know what it is, Don. I've heard people say, for some reason, righties can get righties out somewhat, but lefties can get left-handed batters out even better.
Yeah. I think it's because left-handers throw from a different angle.
Yes.
They throw maybe sidearm a little bit, three-quarters. Hey, by the way, you saw a couple of really good friends there. Grant Morlock, he is the Fallston coach, and Darian Seiler is the John Carroll coach. These young men love each other really in a very positive way.
Yes.
They play together. They're best friends off the field. But I think between the lines tonight, there's no prisoners taken. This is a big game.
Tonight, they will put that friendship on the sideline for 2.5 hours and then rekindle it right afterwards.
Ray, it's so much fun to watch this game because John Carroll, we don't get a chance to see the Patriots very much because they don't play public schools, basically. They do tonight play Fallston again out of the Tidings Division of the Uckback. John Carroll, who plays in that very, very tough A conference of the MIAA. So it's going to be a pleasure to see Harford County teams, Fallston and John Carroll, play against each other.
Well, we love to see this, and we've seen it in other sports where every year John Carroll tries to get a public school team on their schedule. So we've done the John Carroll versus Fallston girls lacrosse game for a couple of years in a row, and we found some other good matchups. But Fallston has had many years of good programs, and even though they've generally been a 1A, 2A school, I think they won their regional championship last year.
They did. They won it 2 years in a row. They won the Uckback 2 years in a row and the regions. Ray, the only problem is, and you know this as a coach, years happen where your seniors graduate.
Yes.
And in this case, Fallston is left with one starting player off that team from last year. Now, the good news is their JV team was 17-0.
Yes, they graduated a lot of talent up from that JV team. And to your point, you're a baseball man. It matters because you want your double play combination getting used to each other. You want your pitcher and your catcher in sync. And so, with a young team but talented, this might be more of a developmental first half of the season. And then, as the coach said, they're gelling more and more as they get to know each other. John Carroll is just dominated with a veteran lineup.
Yeah, and the good thing for John Carroll is they've played 15 games already. They went down to Alabama. They played in an invitational, played 4 games down there. They played 3 A conference games already. Their series against Gilman, they defeated Gilman 2 out of 3 games. So they're coming into this game as an experienced team and a team with all kinds of starters as well.
Yes, I mean, looking at some of these players for John Carroll right now, they talk about, I love his nickname, their leadoff hitter, Joey Baseball Cowden. He's got a .333 batting average, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. So he's combining batting average and power, and that's not a common thing to do. Their number 2, Casey Carpenter, always batting on is .529. So he's succeeding over half the times. I can't imagine what his on-base percentage and other is, and he also has 5 home runs and 24 RBIs. And Will Ryan, number 3, .452 average with 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. And Don, they have power and consistency all in the rest of their lineup. They're a very powerful team.
Yeah, think about Reese Conley, the lefty we're talking about from Fallston. Those are the first 3 he has to face in the lineup in the very first time that he faces John Carroll. But Reese Conley, though, look at his record. He started against Harford Tech in the first game of the year. He pitched 6 innings, allowed no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. So, he is the kind of pitcher that if you're Grant Morlock, you're hoping he can hold this John Carroll lineup down.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's like, what was the Yankee lineup last year when you had to go through Judge, Stanton, and blanking on the big guy. Soto. Yeah, he only settled for a $752 million contract.
Yeah, I could live on that. I think if they gave me the chance, I could live on that.
But what do you do when you go through 3 batters that good? And that's what this young man has to start off with tonight. And then I guess you just got to kind of control the damage and then get to the rest of the lineup each time those 3 young men come up.
And Reese, as you said, Ray, you look at the rest of the lineup. The rest of the lineup is also very tough. So once you get through those 1, 2, and 3, it's not like now it's a cakewalk because they're going to be tough all the way down through number 9. So it's going to be interesting. The MIAA conference. 6 of the players on John Carroll's team, Ray, have been rated as all-state preseason.
Wow.
6 of their players. So this is a team that is loaded. 14-10 last year. I think they're a team that's looking perhaps to maybe come out on top in the A conference.
They've really developed a good program. And going back to that A conference for John Carroll, anytime you're in the A conference for any sport there, I remembered seeing a Baltimore Sun Metro rankings, and I think it was the girls' soccer team was ranked like number 5, and they had a losing record. And people said, how can you be ranked number 5 when you're losing record? When you're playing McDonough and all those top teams, every game, you can have a below 500 team, but they were 14-0, as you said last year.
14-10, yeah. Now, looking at this lineup, you've got Will Ryan at third base, Drew Jordan at short, Mikel Leon at second, and Casey Carpenter at first. Brooks Mueller will be the pitcher, and coincidentally, he's going to be pitching to Brooks. Only Dallas Brooks is the catcher. Now, both Mueller, a senior, and Dallas Brooks, a senior. So you've got Battery, very experienced. Mueller already this year, Ray, 3-0, 18 strikeouts, a 1.07 ERA.
Wow, that's impressive.
So, you're looking at a lineup. Let's finish the lineup. Bryson Altman in left field, Joey Cowden, the young man that Ray identified as Joey Baseball, in center field, and Owen O'Reilly is in right field. Now, like any team has, Ray, a little sickness, maybe a few injuries. O'Reilly is a young man who's playing in place of one of the real starters, so we'll see how he does in right field.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Don, I mean, we don't have any speed stats here, but this is a big outfield. And, if somebody's going to put one out here today, that's going to be impressive, but that's a lot of gaps to cover, too.
Ray, there you see the Patriot mascot. I mean, this is such a great, we'll talk more about the Josh Hamer, what's going on here. So this game is, Ray, as you know, bigger than just a baseball game. Josh Hamer, a young man who back in 2017 lost his life as a 15-year-old in a car accident. Ray, he had just been informed that he had made the varsity team just a few weeks short of his 16th birthday, and his life was taken in a, just a tragic car accident. Now, the good thing about it, if there is a good thing, is they've kept his memory alive through the Josh Hamer Memorial Fund. This game is a fundraiser. They have bingos. They have all kinds of things that they raise money and give out scholarships with.
So to that point, Don, the Josh Hamer was a scholar athlete at John Carroll who died tragically, as you said, 2017. But what his family has done and providing the scholarships and so forth is outstanding. And not only on that, you have the school and what they've bought into it. And I know some people involved with this too, and they try to do a mini basketball tournament. One gentleman, and it's really hard to lose anybody, but when you lose somebody young, it just doesn't seem right. My heart goes out to the family. One of the assistant coaches, Chris Roberts, will be our first base coach tonight for John Carroll. He's friends of my family. He was friends with Josh, and he lived that whole experience, unfortunately.
Talking to the grandmother here before the game, and grandparents, being a grandparent myself, they're just precious, and the tears in her eyes as she was talking about Josh, who has been gone now, 8 years, I guess it's coming up on, but still his memory. And the great thing is that he lives on in this Memorial Scholarship, so that's a good thing. Zach Lowy is the leadoff hitter for Fallston. He is the lone returner on this Fallston team. This young man batting .339, 19 for 56 last year, 22 runs scored, 13 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases. He's off to a .400 start for this 2-3 team, the Fallston Cougars, who last night lost a tough one, 8 innings. They lost to Bow Manor in an 8-inning game. So we're underway. First pitch of the ball game, strike on that outside corner. We are underway at Ripken Stadium. It is the Josh Hamer Memorial Baseball game.
Got a beautiful night here, Don.
Yeah, it's kind of a little, maybe iffy.
A little chill, but it's still good enough.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, and we're under protection here, so if it rains, hey, it's all about us.
Hey, we've been in late March games before, but that were a lot colder than this.
You got it. 0-2 now. Mueller, as we said, Brooks Mueller, the senior, number 21, 3-0 coming into this game tonight. Swung on and missed. 3 pitches, and the strikeout is recorded. So just like that, Mueller gets the first out.
I was just getting ready to say to you, Don, I wanted to see the pattern of this pitcher. Does he attack the strike zone? Well, that 3 pitches kind of answered that question.
It did. Justin Schilp now, the second baseman. Justin, just a sophomore. He's one of those players that graduated off the JV last year. And there's 4 pitches and 4 strikes, strike 1. Schilp batting at .462 early in the season, 5 games in, scored 5 runs. There's the first ball of the game, a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike, just underway at Ripken Stadium. It is the Josh Hamer Memorial Baseball game, the annual one. This is number 8 since 2017.
So, Don, you talked about lefties. When the first left-handed batter comes up, I'm going to be more alert because they could foul one right up at us.
There's a screen here, but that's deceiving. The ball can sneak over that screen, Ray, and I am going under the table. I'm telling you.
I asked Don as a baseball player if he was going to protect me. He said no.
No. Those days are over. Now it's under the table. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Justin Schilp, number 15, as you see. Boy, what a thrill for these kids. Their picture there on the scoreboard in the center field, playing on the same field that Cal Ripken initiated here back in 2001. Ooh, strike 3 taken right across the middle. 2 up, 2 down, 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking. That'll bring up the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Luca Santora. And Luca is suffering some bad shoulder injury, but he wanted to play. He is a transfer from John Carroll, played at John Carroll last year, so he's playing against his old teammates. Swung on and missed.
So you talked about the scoreboard there, and the big scoreboard, Jumbotron of their version. How many moms are here taking pictures with their cell phones when their kid comes up to the plate?
Can you imagine, Ray? But I go back to my days when we played on cow pastures, let's face it.
Yes.
Can you imagine playing as a young man here on this field?
This is awesome.
Yeah. Foul ball. First time we've seen contact made here tonight.
I think that one might have left the stadium to the right there.
Lucas Santora, a senior, 225, 9 for 40 last year at John Carroll. This year he's batting .273, has a double, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBIs, also with 3 stolen bases.
He's our first batter that's been able to put the bat on the ball, though, so far. I mean, he's fighting them off.
2 out, nobody on, top of the first inning. John Carroll in the dark uniforms with the gold trim. Pop up in the middle of the infield. Moving on at second baseman, it's going to go out and out of play on the right side. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the twilight here, the clouds have rolled in. lights beginning to take a little effect. There's another foul ball over the top, and it's out of here.
So I guess you got to pay
Harford
attention,
side.
though, and see if it comes back sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like the upper deck in the Oriole Stadium.
Ray, there's nothing like, for baseball junkies like me, minor league baseball is just where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Ground ball, second
Wow.
baseman moving on it. That's Leone. Has it, underhands it to first base to Carpenter. 3 up and 3 down. That 4-3 will end the top of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on.
A lot of enthusiasm in that John Carroll dugout. They all came out and greeted their pitcher and their players. I like to see that.
Oh, yeah. We talked to the young lady who was taking tickets here tonight. She said several hundred, maybe as many as 1,000 may show up here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we mentioned it is a fundraiser for the Josh Hamer Memorial Scholarship Fund. They give out scholarships, Ray, that are continuing scholarships. So once you get it as a freshman, you keep it all 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And 3 members of the baseball team are recipients of
Mm-hmm.
that Josh Hamer scholarship.
So I may or may not have told you this. I had the fortune of coaching at John Carroll years ago, and they've really
Replay here, Ray. Excuse me. That's
sorry.
that ground ball to second base.
good
Nice
scoop.
job by Leone. Comes in and scoops it and then underhands it, and that's the end of that first inning. Good, Ray. I'm
No,
sorry.
they've really fixed up their facilities over there, John Carroll. Fallston has beautiful facilities already, but they've really made that baseball field beautiful. Their football, soccer field is beautiful. They've really made it great for the student athletes at that school.
Talking to Dave Wren, he said they built a brand new softball field at Fallston. So I'm really anxious to see that. We used to play up there next to the fire company. Now they say it's the baseball field or softball field right next to the school. So that'll be fun.
What do you think about this clay infield, Don? Everything but the pitcher's mound and home plate is clay.
Yeah, and the other fields that we have here at the Ripken complex are all artificial turf. Even the infield dirt is like a brown-colored artificial surface. But, I mean, it is just beautiful. Again, as a young man playing baseball in a rock-infested field, to get a chance to play here, wow.
Yes.
It's something you would never forget.
We use construction supplies left over from a company to build our own field, and the Aegis actually did an article about us and put us in the paper, and we looked like those kids from Sandlot. And when you look back and think, we played on that, nails sticking out of boards and everything else.
Reese Conley, who was on the team last year, not a starter, only pitched in a couple of games last year. He was 0-1, had a 21.2 ERA, pitched 3 1/3 innings, gave up 8 hits. He's back this year now as a junior, looking to be a mainstay for this team. We were talking to Grant Morlock, and he said 90% of the pitching depth is gone based on graduation, which happened. Ball 1 now. Leadoff hitter is Joey Cowden. Joey the man, Joey Baseball Cowden. Joey batting .333, 6 homers, 14 RBIs already. Pop up.
Will
Moving on
stay
to
in.
catcher.
Nope.
Potler, looking at it, it's going to be out of play.
Well, Don, this John Carroll lineup we were talking about is a veteran lineup. 7 of their 9 players are seniors, and the other 2 are juniors. And that experience really comes in handy.
Absolutely, especially since they had success last year and coming back. And you look at it, this is the year, if you're Coach Seiler, that you think maybe you could put it all together. Just a little bit high, 2 balls and a strike. I like the motion of Reese Conley. He's got a very smooth delivery, tall, angular young man.
Ooh.
Taken just a bit high. Looks like 3 balls and a strike. Last thing you want to do, Ray, and you know that. You don't want to put that leadoff man on.
And I always like to see the speed games. I'm always curious which teams have the base stealers.
Down low, and there it is, ball 4. We were mentioning that Conley in the first game didn't give up a walk. As far as gave up 1 walk in 6 innings. He'd already given up a walk here to the first batter.
Here's a good look at our first base coach here. So, Don, I always want to say, like, our catchers are one of the toughest positions in sports.
Yep, and he's a sophomore, the young man we're talking about, Joey Potler. There's a strike off the inside corner, strike 1. No indication that Cowden was anxious to run on that one, but he's got 11 steals right through 15 games.
Well, it's a little bit tougher to steal against a left-handed pitcher. So it's a little bit harder to get the lead.
Up high, fastball, 1-1. Just underway, no score. Fallston with 3 up and 3 down in the top of the first. John Carroll gets his first man on.
Pitcher's hoping for a ground ball to the middle infield here. Try turn 2.
Strike on that inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Give you that infield. Aiden Strongmeyer is at third base. Zach Lowy is at short. Justin Schilp at second, and it's Garrett Kirsch at first base. The outfield is Evan Pop, Lucas Santoro, and Landon Bell from left to right. There he goes.
There he goes.
Line drive left field. That ball is hit.
Be gone.
Back and back, and
That's
it is
way
gone.
Wow.
Over that left field wall, about 370 feet for a 2-run home run by Mr. Casey Carpenter. Wow.
Now wait till you see this shot at home plate here, Don, of the good team spirit on this John Carroll team.
Casey Carpenter, that ball was
Oh, they
hit.
caught him. They caught him in the air, Don. He dove into their arms.
Unbelievable. 529, 5 home runs, now 6 home runs for Carpenter. So just like that, 2 up and 2 runs in for John Carroll.
Do you remember about 10 minutes ago when I said it might be hard?
Here's the replay of it.
Yep, here it is. Look at this.
Boom, that ball is hit. And he knew it. Back goes the left fielder Pop, but he can't do a thing about it. That ball was over by maybe 10 or 15 feet.
And I was the one that said it would be hard to hit it out of
Will
here.
Ryan, line shot by Ryan. Base hit into right field. Boy, they're not even giving us a chance to announce their names, Ray.
Well, they talk about exit velocity. That home run and that line drive were both really tagged.
Boy, and that was left on left. You talked about that, Ray, how it's tough for a left-handed batter. Will Ryan had no trouble. Will, the 452 hitter, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. That brings up the cleanup hitter. This is Drew Jordan. Drew, the shortstop. Drew already has 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. Down low. Nice scoop by Potler. Potler, a sophomore again, one of those young men who played on the JV last year. So he had success there, but now it's another step, Ray. Every step you go up, it gets a little tougher.
So we're getting a slight lead here from the man on first. He's making him think about it.
Yeah, you noticed how that left-hander, he sort of raises that right leg up and sort of holds it there, making that runner think maybe the play could be coming. As you noticed, Cowden was on the move when that home run ball was struck. He could just sort of walk across the field from there. Down low.
Don, have you ever pitched? I mean, it's kind of hard to focus on the runner and the plate at the same time.
It is, yeah. Yeah, you gotta give attention to the runner until you get ready to deliver the ball. So you're thinking, and then you have to shift your mind. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Up high, 3-0.
I say it was ball 4. Scoreboard was wrong.
Ball 4 is the count. So now we have 2 on.
So now, Don, I have an interesting thing here as the coach is going to the mound to talk to the pitcher. With the left-handed pitcher, it's a little bit harder to steal first base because they can just slide step and throw it right at you to the first baseman. It's easier sometime for the runner on second base to steal third.
Yeah.
Because you can get a bigger lead because they have to either turn completely to their left or do a 3/4 turn spin to throw, which doesn't make it easier to have the accuracy to throw to the base. So I'm going to anticipate this runner on second is going to get a pretty good lead and see if the pitcher will try to throw back at him.
Yeah, Will Ryan, the runner at second, Drew Jordan, the runner at first, 2 on, nobody out.
I was going to ask if John Carroll plays any little ball, but noticing their power stats, I don't think you would make them do it very often.
Now Dallas Brooks, the catcher, also a left-handed batter, as you see. 2 on and nobody out. Brooks, the senior. Oh, hit him. Hit him right in the back, and Dallas not real pleased about that.
Gave a little look into the pitcher on that one.
Tosses his bat. We now have the bases loaded. Miguel Leon now the second baseman, number 13. Miguel with 10 steals, 15 RBIs. Batted .317 last year. Ray, he wears that number 13. I always shy away from trying to tempt the gods in any way. I would never wear number 13.
You see very few 13s in any sports.
Yeah. Yeah, A-Rod with the Yankees, who adopted 13 when he couldn't wear number 3. Somebody by the name of Babe Ruth had number 3 at one point, and the Yankees don't give that number out anymore. Line
There's a
shot
line
up the
drive.
middle.
Oh,
Second baseman diving
almost.
for it, just past him. 1 run in, 2 runs in, and that runner will stay at second base. So a 2-run single by Leone, just off the fingertips of Shilp. Justin Shilp made a dive. Had he been able to catch that ball, he could have had a double play,
Yes.
Ray.
Yeah, people were moving.
Scoring from third was Ryan. Scoring from second was Jordan. Moving up to second base is Brooks. And on at first base is Leone on the RBI, 2 RBI single to center field.
John Carroll is really putting the bat on the ball, and you know, Fallston needs a ground ball to an infielder here. They need to get a couple outs quickly if they can.
Bryson Altland. Good stop again by Potler. Potler is a sophomore, but you can tell that he's a young man who's gotten some skill at that position over the years. Ray, did you ever catch in baseball?
I didn't play many years of baseball, but then I caught in softball some, and totally different. My wife was a catcher for Seminole High School state championship team.
She was, and an excellent catcher, by the way.
She caught for Towson in college too, and played first base. And I saw her get beat up, and I was like, I don't want to do that catching job.
I was talking to the catcher from Fallston the other night. We did a game, and I was complimenting her. She went 4 for 4 in the game.
So I played third base and outfield when I played, but my brother was the baseball star in my family for Jopptown High School, led the county in hitting 2 years in a row. And Don, just playing infield and slow pitch softball, I was like, I can do that outfield thing. It's a lot safer out there.
3 balls and a strike.
There we go.
And goes by the catcher, and that's ball 4
pitch.
anyhow. Rounding third, and good job by Potler to go back and get the ball. Bases are going to be loaded again.
Well, Don, you have to here. We've been at some of the high school fields around the county, and the backstop is very close.
Yep.
It's very deep back here behind the plate, so if a runner was moving on a pitch, they might be able to score from second on a wild pitch. That was a good job by our young catcher.
Yep, and good job by Dallas Brooks to round third base. He wasn't going to stop until the catcher stopped him. Now this is Cam Leach now. Cam Leach into bat as the number 8 hitter in the lineup. Still nobody out. Bases are loaded. 4 runs in for John Carroll.
Our first baseman is in closer on the infield, Don, and if you hit a quick one hopper there, he'll come home.
Yeah.
But our third baseman is playing behind the bag a little way, which makes me think that he's going to second if he gets the ball hit to him.
Line
foul
shot
ball.
forward, foul. We were talking to Coach Seiler about Cam Leach, and he said this young man has more power, raw power, than anybody on this team. We've seen the power already, so you know you don't want to groove the ball to Leach either.
Don, it's not showing up on our screen, but that ball was about 10 yards from our truck, and now our truck
Ooh,
men
look
were
out,
like,
bat!
I think they're thinking we could be hit. We are not in a safe area here.
That time, the good thing that they have a screen in front of the dugout, because that bat came out of Leach's hand. Ball went one way, bat went the other.
Now, is that fooled by the pitch, or is that just misgrip, or a combination of the two?
It could be a combination. It could have been a change-up, and maybe he got out in front and just released the bat. You see a good look there at Cam Leach.
Yeah, this isn't the ballpark to try to catch a foul ball.
Cam, slowed by injuries, he was scheduled to start in the outfield, but is now the DH here tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, bases loaded, 4 runs in.
Runner on third's getting a big lead.
Yeah.
He's coming halfway down the line every time.
And that is a courtesy runner there at third base. We were saying it was Brooks, but they put in a courtesy runner. Let's see if we can get that number for you.
I think number 17 there is...
Yeah, it looks like Nicholas Stockson, huh? Yeah, Nicholas Stockson. And you can do that in high school baseball where either the pitcher or the catcher, you can have a courtesy runner. Doesn't affect their status in the game and gets more players involved.
Well, what scared me about it is what just happened. He's running down a line, and these batters are hitting some hard balls, I'm afraid one's going to hit right at him.
That third base coach, notice he has a helmet on. They started that a few years ago. In minor league, third base coach or first base coach got hit in the head and almost killed him.
Yeah.
And so they started making the coaches wear tip foul.
Oh, that could have been strike 3. So they have the box that you can see on both sides. And while the batter's swinging the bat, that's where they're required to be. They can go over in between batters and talk to the base runner, and that's okay.
Checking on the home plate umpire, that ball hit the home plate umpire and hit foul. And again, you talk about tough jobs. You know, the plate umpire is not a place I would want to be.
No, and I was talking about catchers before, Don. I've watched Major League games on TV where the catcher gets 5 balls fouled off of him in 2 innings.
Yeah.
And they're like a prize fighter looking at him like, I can't take another. Oh, and they get hit by the backswing of the bat sometimes.
Oh, yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, got to throw a strike. Does not. Ball 4, and that'll walk in a run. And now we've had 8 batters come up. We've got 5 runs in. The bases are still loaded. Nobody out. Owen O'Reilly. Another left-handed batter is O'Reilly. O'Reilly pressed into duty because of the injury to Leach. Leach becoming a DH. Number 9 hitter in the order.
As they said, we're about to bat around.
Ground ball back to the pitcher. Throwing to first base. That's a mistake.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go home, and I thought he had time.
Again, you're talking about being a pitcher, and the thing in your mind, the last thing you're thinking about is what I do if the ball is hit to me.
Right.
So the first out is recorded, but the RBI takes place as the runner scores from third base. That's Leone.
And they've also taken the force play out of it.
Yep.
Options here.
Runners now at second and third with 1 out.
That'll be a learning experience the coach will talk to him about.
Joey Cowden batting for the second time. Cowden, who walked and scored ahead of that long home run by Casey Carpenter. First time up here in the first inning. So the Patriots have batted around with 1 out.
Oh, man, made him chase on that one.
Yeah, he did. Off-speed pitch.
And I think the first pitch was an off-speed pitch, too, because it didn't look like he had the velocity of some of the other ones.
Joey Baseball Cowden batting .333, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, 26 runs scored, all in the 15 games so far. Swung on and missed. Down he goes. Big strikeout.
So, Don, to me, that's like setting up your pitch. He pitched 2 off-speed pitches, and then he looked like a pretty good fastball with a little bit more velocity than I've seen him throw so far.
You saw that look on Cowden's face. I don't care if we're up by 6-0. I didn't want to strike out. Here's the man, Casey Carpenter, who slugged that about 380 feet probably, maybe longer, into left field. Takes the ball 1. Home run into the left field, beyond the left field stands.
Come on, Don. I can't believe you haven't said who's at the bat yet. Casey at the bat. Come on.
But see, that Casey, as we just found out in our sports quiz, it didn't work out well for him. You remember, back in 1888, Casey at the bat. This Casey, it kind of worked out okay.
Yes, he's got a future, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking to a friend of mine, a girl I coached, Lacey's dad, Ben Pierce. He's working with a program for baseball players, and they said they have a lot of them going to college from these schools in the community around here.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful.
Fly ball center field. Moving on it is Santoro.
He might get it, but
I think he is, yeah. Santoro settles under it and makes the catch.
Wow.
The ex-John Carroll Patriot scores the out, and finally the inning comes to a conclusion. Not before 6 runs are scored on a total of 5 base hits. There were no errors. 2 runners were left on base. We've taken 1 full inning now with John Carroll leading by 6-0.
I think that's what they call a loud out, Don.
Ooh, yeah.
We have a little tribute going on the Jumbotron here.
Yeah, all during the game, they're having tributes to Josh Hamer. See, this is the end of the first inning. So they're doing the baseball lights video, according to my stat sheet. Again, about 1,000 people here tonight from John Carroll and Fallston and all around the community, honoring the memory of Joshua Hamer, He passed away tragically back in 2017. And again, Ray, never any way to console the family,
No.
but the fact that they're keeping his memory alive, and his life is doing some good for other people in that he's raising money, his memory raising money for the scholarship fund.
I've been unfortunate to have lost some athletes, and it's not just a healing for the family, it's a healing for the teammates, it's a healing for the community. You will have players that played with him come back to this event just to be here for this one game every year.
Reese Conley now, the pitcher, batting cleanup. Young man is a junior. Last year hit just 125 as a sophomore. This year batting 545 in the first 5 games.
Our umpire is telling him, cut the music, cut the music.
I can't hear myself think. Cut the music.
Time to start playing ball here. Seems like our infield is playing deep here, Don. I mean, I guess that's they feel like they have the confidence in their arms.
Yeah. We watched the JV game before. We saw some great plays being made by both teams. By the way, Fallston's JV team defeated John Carroll, came up in the 8th inning and scored 3 runs to win that ball game.
Yeah, I heard the cheers. I wasn't in IVU at the time, but I heard the cheers. And for any of you that haven't had the opportunity to get out here, this is a beautiful ballpark. And our Aberdeen Ironbirds play out here.
They start April the 4th, if you want to mark your calendar.
There's a
Line
nice
shot into left center field,
could
moving
get
on
in
the
the
left
gap.
fielder, and it does get down for the base hit. Fielded out
Oh,
there,
the throw's coming in. Nope.
and he's going to be safe, sliding in with the double.
Very nice. That was actually a good defensive play, too. The outfielder got that ball in 1 or 2 bounces, threw perfectly to the cutoff man. The cutoff man hit the second baseman perfectly, but the runner was too fast.
So a double for Conley into left field. That left fielder, Bryson Hartland, got over there and made the stop, but it was hit right up in the gap. Aiden Stromberger now. Aiden is a junior, batting 278, 5 for 18 so far this year.
It's a great job cutting the ball off in the gap. That ball was a little bit lofted and fell in, but if somebody hits a line drive between 2 outfielders and it gets by them, that's a possible inside the park home run if you have the speed, because the ball's going to roll a long way.
Yeah, you look at that outfield, it's 404 feet in the center field, 310 down the lines, about 375 in the power alley. Down low.
So it's a chance here for a run here with any kind of hit, because that runner looked pretty quick going to second base on that double.
Yeah, he's the pitcher, and they're not putting in a courtesy runner for him. He's an athlete. He says, hey, I don't need no stinking runner. Now ball back. I had a pitcher back when I was coaching at Aberdeen, Dave Bonsall, who, I believed in the DH. I thought, hey, you're a pitcher. Concentrate on what you got to do.
Right.
He hated that. Coach, let me bat. No. If you're not pitching, then you can bat. You're pitching today. I want you to concentrate on pitching the baseball. I saw Dave a couple of years ago, and he still reminded me, hey, Coach,
is he still
down to second base.
Is
He's
he
getting
still
picked
holding
off.
it against you?
And safe in at third base, and the ball is wild, fielded there. Good job.
He's going to get home, I think. That ball went in the dugout.
Yep, it went in the dugout. He'll be rewarded home plate. That's Reese Conley. Conley did a good job. He had the catcher pick him off, but looked like he did it on purpose. And when the catcher made the throw, he just headed for third base. Wild throw. And so the error allows Conley to score. First run is scored by the Fallston Cougars.
So he went to the dugout and he said, I manufactured my own run,
There
guys.
you go.
Now, can you guys manufacture me some too?
So give him a stolen base and an error on the
Yes.
shortstop on the throw, and the run is scored. It's now 6-1.
Well, the old saying, speed kills, does apply. It puts more pressure on every position against them. I mean, I don't blame the catcher for throwing behind him.
Yeah.
Just threw it slightly off track and made the infielder have to lunge to catch it. If they would have been maybe a yard more to the right, they have him caught between second and third base.
Yeah. He had him picked off, but it looked like, Conley, I can't read his mind, but he looked like, yeah, go ahead, try to pick me off. I'll just take the next base. Curveball hangs up high, almost got him. Ray, what you're doing there, if you're a catcher, if you're going to pick that guy off, you've got him picked off. Run 3 or 4 steps out in front of the plate.
I was just going to say that, yes.
Make him make a move one way or the other before you throw the ball.
Yep.
Swung on and missed. Down he goes. That's the third strikeout for pitcher Mueller.
So he almost got hit by the pitch prior to that. And some people will say, just let the pitch hit you. Easier said than done, Don.
I've been hit several times.
It doesn't feel good.
No, it does not. Your mind tells you be somewhere else.
Yes.
You don't want to be here. Batting now is Tyler Conrad. Tyler, the DH, a senior, down low.
We must have some rain out there now, Don, because our whole row of fans just came up from closer and got about 5 rows in front of us.
You know, come on, chicken people, stay out. Oh, wait a minute, we're undercover, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, good thought. Well, we've done 3 games so far. We got rained on the first game, rained on the second game. So why not? Let's have a rain here tonight.
So the conditions field is outstanding. So it would take an awful lot of rain, heavy rain, obviously thunder and lightning stops everything, for them to ever consider stopping a game with a field in this good condition.
A little bit of a
That could
squibber
work.
out to second base.
That might take a bounce.
Takes a lot of English on it. Throw to first base. I think he's
beat it
going to be
out.
safe. He does. Leon came over and made the stop. That ball hit right off the end of the bat, and it
Yes.
had English or French or some foreign language had on it.
And I would have to say, that was a tough play to make because that ball knuckled back behind him. And all it took was that knuckling to make him be off step and be throwing on the wrong foot, which makes a big difference on the power you get on your throw.
Yep. Joey Potler now the batter. Joey the catcher, the sophomore catcher. Takes up high. Brooks Mueller the pitcher, 3-0 coming into the game. 18 strikeouts, 107 ERA.
For a left-handed batter, the right fielder is giving up a lot of right field line, and that must be confidence in your pitcher's velocity to say that the batter's not going to be able to pull the ball.
Yeah.
That's what the coaches are for, right, Don?
That's what they're for, yeah.
You got somebody sitting there telling their outfielders over this and that.
Yeah.
Did you do that, or did you give that job to one of your assistants?
You know what? My outfielders would have laughed at me. Coach, go back in the dugout. We know what we're doing. Actually, I'll let Cal Ripken do it all. You know, Cal,
Right.
you just run the show out there. I'll sit here and watch. Yeah, we're going back to the 1970s, Ray. Aberdeen High School winning the county championship one year and then winning the state the next year. I think it had something to do with Ripken on the mound playing shortstop.
He might have had a small
He
impact.
had a little help there, I think. There's the walk.
Well, let's see.
2 on and 1 out.
Maybe you know the history. How many teams in Harford County have won a state championship in baseball?
Ooh, that's a good question. Bel Air won one, maybe 2. Aberdeen won that one, 1978, when Cal was a senior. Tell you a story about that when we have time.
It's a big opportunity here for Fallston.
Yeah,
Get
they're-
back in this game.
Absolutely, got runners on first and second. Boy, the last thing you want to do if you're Brooks Mueller was to walk that batter.
Right?
You know, they talk about a shutdown inning. That's when your team scores and you come back out. What you want to do is get right back in the dugout.
So, Don, a lot of people don't know this, that John Carroll used to be in the Harford County League.
He did. Yeah.
My brother played against them
Yeah.
in the 80 and 81, 82.
Yeah, back in the days when we're talking about Aberdeen, it was one of our, Jerry O'Brien was the coach at John Carroll. One of our great games was to play John Carroll every year. Now, they weren't in the league standings. They couldn't go to the state playoffs. Yeah, and I fully understand why John Carroll is in the MIAA because they are a private independent school.
Yes.
And there's great competition. But as someone who loves sports in Harford County, I miss them not being in the swim meets,
Yes.
you know, not being in the baseball games. And so we really enjoy, if they're playing a county team, boy, if we get a chance to televise them, we're going to do it.
Yeah, I was the last swim coach for John Carroll the last year that they were in the Harford County League.
Yeah.
And then they were going to move us to the private league after that.
2 balls, no strikes, 2 on, 1 out. There's that turn. Everybody wants to say balk, but it's not a balk unless you take your foot off that rubber. And strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike.
You see how the catcher bought that call?
Yeah.
You know, they know how to frame it. They were like, he congratulated his pitcher before the umpire even called the strike.
Dallas Brooks, the catcher, they say he is a possibility to be drafted this year by a pro team. 136 and 2/3 innings last year. Ray, he had 1 error.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about Dallas Brooks, the senior catcher. He's one of the Hamer scholars we'll talk about in just a minute. Again, the frame.
He tried to get that one, but the umpire said no.
3 balls and a strike.
Yeah.
And now it is ball 4, so the bases are loaded.
Now, what's ironic about baseball, Don, is what's the old saying? When you even get a blue pit in the box score, it was a line drive, and we haven't seen a lucky hit yet, other than that squib. That but most of the balls in this game have been hit well. But you're 1 bloop here from a 2-run game or 3-run game.
Landon Bell, the number 9 hitter in the order. Landon, the right fielder, senior. Batting 167 on the year, does have a double and has scored 3 runs. Played on the team last year, was a .222 hitter. Played sparingly. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases are jammed.
Our second baseman is really playing up the middle a lot. There's a lot of room between the first and second baseman. If the batter's even late on the ball, you can get a grounder right through there.
Now
nice
back.
swing.
Yep, right on the pitch. If you're Mueller, obviously you want to get the ball across the plate. You've now walked 2 and got that little squib hit to second base. Reese Conley had led off the inning with that ringing double to left center. Stole third, came home on an error, so the run was scored. Bases loaded, 1 out. Down low.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, that was a nice take. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The patience some batters have at the plate amazes me. Sometimes that pitch looks like it's coming right at the plate, and then it goes off the plate at the last second.
Swung on and missed. Big strikeout.
That ball looked like, that pitch looked like it was.
That's only the second strike. The scoreboard.
You're having a little problem with the scoreboard
has fooled me again.
Yes.
They give you 3 strikes, not 2 there, Don.
Are they testing us, Don?
I think they are. Foul back.
It's good fight off there.
Sorry, Landon. I should have believed my scorebook instead of the scoreboard. 3-2 now, the count.
I do know it's at least 3-2 now because there have been at least enough balls and left strikes thrown in this long at bat, Don.
2 out.
I have 1 out.
Just 1 out, yeah. I already gave Landon the out. Sorry, Landon.
So he needs to attack so he doesn't walk a batter.
Swung on and missed. Throw back to second base. He is going to be out at second base. What a play by Dallas Brooks as he's able to capture the runner at second base on that 2-6. So it's a strike him out, throw him out, and that will end the top of the second inning with just 1 run scored by the Fallston Cougars. What a play by Dallas. What an arm.
I'll tell you, he redeemed himself from that little bit of slight off one the last time. That was very accurate and some velocity. I almost think the catcher could be the relief pitcher when I see that arm.
Now Dallas Brooks again being the senior leader. Well, you talk about. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking now. Here's going to be that replay. Watch how he comes out of his crouch, Ray. Boom, and then second, and that ball is right on the money.
Yeah.
No chance to get back. What a tag, what a throw.
After that play, Don, I was tell you that the third base coach went out to the player that got picked off, put his arms around his shoulder and walked off the field with him. And I love to see the way he did that. He didn't yell at him. He just gave him a teachable moment and told him, I like you jumping off the base there a little bit, but, not that far.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 pitch, so you want to get a jump. You're hoping to be able to get a ground ball, maybe be able to score that 3rd run.
Right.
But when you've got a catcher like Dallas Brooks, you don't want to stray too far off the base. By the way, they were honoring here in the middle of the second inning, the 1995 championship softball team graphic, and there it is on the scoreboard. You're not being able to see it, but we are here at the stadium. So now we'll go into the bottom of the second inning. Coming up for the second time is Will Ryan. Ryan back in the first inning, got a single to right field and ended up scoring as well.
So, Don, the John Carroll softball team won the championship last year, too. And one of the young ladies that I know who was literally a swimmer for me at Maryland Golf when she was a young lady, became a good pitcher. And they made it to the championship game 3 years and lost barely. And they finally got their championship last year. Julia Wilkes was their pitcher.
Down low. Yeah, and then she was a senior, you said?
Yes.
But that's really good to be able to go out on top that way. You know, what I hate and really regret is when you become a senior and you get injured or something happens and your senior year, you know, is gone. You know, put your dues in all that time and then finally it's your time to shine.
Yes.
I'll tell you what's also tough is if you're like shortstop in this case, who is the only returning, you know, senior on the team, and you've got a young team around you. Down low, ball 4, as Ryan will get first base. So you talk about building and you talk about, you know, preparing for the future. But when you're a senior, that's the future.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, Don, it's starting to get a little chilly here. I just put my jacket on.
I noticed.
How does that impact the pitcher?
You know what? When you're on the mound, your adrenaline is flowing. You've got, you know, a lather built up a bit, and it really doesn't bother you too much. Now, when it gets really cold and you can't feel the baseball, that's a different story. Ground ball, shortstop. Lowe has it. Gets it out of his glove. Gets the out at second base, but that's all he can get. Zach Lowe had that ball, but it got stuck in his glove. Finally got it over to Justin Slip, and they get the force out at second base.
I don't think he was going to get the double play anyhow because the ball wasn't hit to him very hard, and he was pretty deep. And that would have been a tough turn for the second baseman to get the man going to first. So no harm, no foul.
Here's Dallas Brooks, who got hit by a pitch in the first inning. And remember that Dallas was not real pleased about getting grilled. Dallas, who made that great throw to second base to get the double play on the strikeout here in the top of the inning.
So this
Dallas,
is
a 375 hitter, Ray. Got a home run and 8 RBIs so far.
So Fallston would love to get a clean inning. That's going to be a tough
And he
play.
has it stolen.
Yeah.
Boy, he went on the first move, did Ryan. I check it did Jordan, and so he steals the second base cleanly. Good throw down there by the catcher, Potler, but he really didn't have a chance.
So you see a lot more players diving in head first these days on a steal attempt than sliding in. I saw something really weird recently, Don, in a game. The runner just ran past the base. Here we
Ground ball
go.
to first. Looks
Take
like
his
it could
own
be
out.
unassisted.
Yep.
And that is it. 3 unassisted. Going down to third base without a throw is Jordan.
So
3 out now.
You see,
I should say 2 outs.
you see people sliding head first into first base, and they say it's actually faster just to run through the base.
It is, yeah. The only reason you want to slide is it's a tag play. Let's
Right.
say the first baseman's off the bag, and you know you want to avoid the tag. I mean, it looks good, looks flashy, but no question about it. Plus, you risk getting hurt. Long
That's
foul
foul.
ball. Wow, that's Miguel Leon. Miguel got a single and 2 RBIs back in the first inning. Also scored a run. A long, loud foul ball.
Don, that's the only thing I could do is run fast. So I like that part of the game.
I like being able to run. Yeah. Run is a good thing, especially if you're running to something or from someone. I never understood track, your sport, where
I
you
know.
run and end up the same place you started.
You and my wife agree on that very much.
I never could understand that.
She said, if you're not being chased with somebody with a weapon or a wild animal, why am I going to run?
Yeah, or say you're running to the store to get an ice cream cone. That I understand. But running cross country, pop-up foul, will it stay in play? No.
Takes a different person, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Have you ever umpired, Don?
You know what? No, yes and no. Only under duress have I umpired, but not on purpose. Tell you another story about that. My former boss, the late great Rob Wallace, down low. Good stop by Potler. He was reporting. He was a sports reporter for the Aegis back in the 50s, and he was reporting on a game that Cal Ripken Sr. was coaching, the Aberdeen Canners, back when Cal was just a young man. watching this pitch. Swung on and missed. Down he goes, and we get out of the inning without any damage. No runs. There was no hits, and 1 runner was left on base.
Should bring him some confidence to the future.
Oh yeah,
innings.
we've now played 2 full innings with the score 6-1. Back to that story about Rob Wallace. Rob was reporting on the game, and it was the Aberdeen Canners in the old Susquehanna League. Well, the umpire didn't show up, so they couldn't play. And so Cal Ripken Sr. came up to Robbie Wallace and said, "Robbie, would you umpire the game so we can play?" And Robbie said, "Oh no, I have seen you, Ripken, how you treat umpires. I'm not umpiring." Ripken said, "Robbie, I guarantee you that if you'll umpire the game, nobody will give you any trouble." Robbie said, under those circumstances, so he put on the mask, put on the chest protector. The first play, Robbie makes the call. Cal Ripken comes out and gets in his face. Rah, 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 rah. Robbie took off the mask, put it on the home plate and said, "This game is over."
Oh my goodness.
And off he went.
Wow.
Cal Ripken Sr., the man who passed away in 1999, age 62. Just, if you knew Cal Ripken, he was just the character that you would never forget. One of the greatest, kindest men, but one of the most ferociously competitive people.
I know many
ever
people
want to
like
be.
that, yes.
So that's my Cal Ripken story as we go
I'll tell
now
you one at the next break.
to the top of the 3rd inning. This is Zach Lowy. Zach, the leadoff hitter. Zach, who fanned back in the 1st inning. Ground ball, third base, moving on it. It's going to be foul.
That was barely foul. That would have been a tough play.
Good shave by Will Ryan, who came in and kept it foul and kept it in foul territory. Zach Lowy, the junior shortstop last year as a sophomore, batted .339, 19 for 56, 22 runs scored, 13 RBIs, and 9 stolen bases.
That's impressive.
And again, the only returning starter on this team. Good thing for Lowy being a junior. He's got a year to grow with these young people.
So I'm curious to see the next inning of John Carroll at the bat and the Fallston pitching, because those last 2 innings for John Carroll were night and day. Did the pitcher change something? Did the coach tell him throw a little bit more of this?
Good point. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Don, do most of our teams have our own pitching coach, or is the head coach?
They do. Again, it's not somebody who is trained as a pitching coach. It's somebody that they recruit who knows pitching. Normally, you do have a pitching coach. Ball 4. Big walk there to lead off the inning.
This is the 2nd inning. Our pitcher has been having a mix of control problems here.
Yeah, he walked 1 last inning, was able to get out of the inning when that big pickoff play by Dallas Brooks at second base. This brings up Justin Slip. Justin, the second baseman, sophomore. Fanned looking in the 1st inning, back safely at first. Casey Carpenter, that first baseman, headed for UNC Wilmington. By the way, my granddaughter now is looking at UNC Wilmington.
Wow.
Great school on the seacoast of North Carolina.
Don, you are not old enough to have a granddaughter looking for a college.
Are you kidding me? Yes, thank you so much. You said that just the way I wrote it for you. Oh.
She's advanced, right?
Yes,
she's advanced.
Yeah.
Skipped a bunch of grades.
Got it. Hello. It was funny. Mark Zervis, our director, came up to me with a document, wanted me to sign today. He had a wrong birth date. He had my birth date of 1944, which would make me 80 years old, going on 81.
Don, it's true.
It is true, darn. I couldn't lie. I had to sign
correct.
it. How did that happen? How do you get to
Denial doesn't work all the time.
Yeah. I go into stores now. They no longer card me for being a senior. Don't you want to see my driver's license? No, you're fine.
Oh. 2 on.
Yeah,
no
2
out.
on. A walk. Mueller now has developed some control issues.
I'm not a pitching expert, Don, but I do see that. I noticed the last inning, he's falling off to one side when he's releasing the pitch. I won't name the name of the player, but the Orioles had a prospect years ago, and when he didn't follow through to the mount, to the plate, he would be wild off the plate.
Yeah.
And that's something that this coaching staff will probably notice and tell him right away.
Arian Seiler out there, the head coach, talking to his team. I like the idea they gather the entire infield around. They passed a law, a rule several years ago that only one infielder, talking about the major leagues, was allowed to come to the mound. And now if you're going to meet with your infield, you have to go away from the mound to do it.
So the umpire comes out because they only have a certain amount of time. By the way, Don, did you notice the coach and me? I can figure out what the pitcher was doing wrong. I can't pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I can do as I say, not as I do.
Well, if you've noticed, then there you see the rain here.
Oh, yeah.
Good
It's
shot
pretty
there.
for us as we're under the cover.
Beautiful, yeah. This cover, I'm liking it. Yeah, that rain was supposed to be, what, like a half hour, maybe 2 hours ago and stopped.
Yes.
Think about it, Ray. The weatherman is the only man who can be, or woman, wrong 3/4 of the time and maintain their job.
And get paid well.
Exactly.
Yes.
They can say, well, there's a 10% chance of rain. If it
That
rains,
happened
they
to
say, we tell you it might.
That happened to us last year at the Fallston girls soccer team, same two teams. And our kind crew was willing to set us up a tarp and cover. And we were like, nah, there's only supposed to be like a 5% chance of rain for 20 minutes. And it rained the whole game. Remember that?
Lucas Santoro. No, I wasn't there. They never put up a cover for me.
You were there with me. I was. Yes, we got soaked.
They put up a cover for us?
They said, no, they offered to. We said, no, thank you.
That's how dumb we are.
Because we trusted the weatherman.
That's stupid. Curveball. Outside.
Yeah, we got the last.
1 ball, 1 strike. We've got 2 on and nobody out. Number 3 hitter in the order, Santoro, grounded out to second base. As you score 6-1 is our score. John Carroll got those 6 runs. Curveball finds the plate. This is your number 3 hitter in the order and the ex-John Carroll Patriot who transferred to Fallston this year. Boy, if you're Santoro, imagine how you'd like to get a nice shot here. Down low.
You don't have any malice towards your own team or teammates or coaches, but you just want to prove to them, hey, I'm good.
Absolutely.
See what you're missing?
Yeah, exactly. All good friends, but you want to be able to show what you're missing, as you said, right?
Hey, you could play against your own brother and want to win, right?
Oh, my. Brother? Are you kidding me? Nobody in the world is your worst enemy in terms of playing than your brother.
That was a moment there where the fans over there were glad there was a screen.
Right over the dugout there, the John Carroll dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runners at first and second. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Ground ball.
That's through there.
It's through the right side.
Will they send him?
Nope, they're going to hold him. That's a smart play.
Yeah, that was a good cutoff and powerful throw.
Good job by Owen O'Reilly coming in, making that pickup and making a good throw.
What's the old saying, Don? You don't want to run into the first out or the last out.
Yep, especially when you're down by 5 runs.
Right.
Bases loaded, bringing up the cleanup hitter. That's Reese Conley. Remember, Conley was the young man, got the double, scored on the stolen base, then error. That's the only run Fallston has so far, but they have the bases loaded. Nobody out.
So we had the base loaded 1 out last inning, and they weren't able to get another run out of it. They need to get something this inning.
Pop up over our heads.
I was ready, Don. I don't know about you, but I was ready.
See, I've got this under the table. That is my go-to move.
As I'm sitting here with my hands folded, not even moving, that ball would have hit me in the forehead before I could have gotten out of the way. I like when you listen to a major league game and you hear the fumbling in the booth as people are diving out of the way.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a hot one. Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I am noticing the third baseman on John Carroll was staying a little bit closer to the bag than the other way around. So our leadoff man on third is not getting the same lead as the John Carroll runners were.
And it's Zach Lowy, the leadoff hitter who got on the walk.
Well, we also saw this. We also saw this catcher's gun of an arm.
Oh my goodness!
So you don't want to get too much of a leadoff.
Yeah, Dallas Brooks. We're talking about this young man. We were told is a prospect to be drafted, and he's a good hitter, as we saw, but even a better defensive catcher. Down low,
that's why
right
I was
by
saying,
him it goes, coming into the plate and scoring. Easy. Runners move up to second and third on that wild pitch.
That ball. Again, that's the deep backstop there. I mean, it's not like the brick behind the Oriole Stadium where if it hits it perfectly, it comes right back to the catcher quickly. So there was no play to be made at home on that play.
And no chance for Brooks to stop that. That ball hit about 3 feet in front of the plate and just skipped right on by him. Up high and outside. Boy, Mueller has just seemed to lose his control altogether. That first inning, he was locked in. I think he threw, what, like 4 straight strikes and finally threw 1 ball in the first inning. 3 up and 3 down. Smart on this.
That was a nice pitch.
3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at second and third, nobody out. 6-2 the score. John Carroll scored all 6 of the runs in the bottom of the first inning. Fallston scored a run in the top of the second. Now 1 here in the top of the third, and he walks on the outside pitch. That's 3 walks in this inning and that base hit.
Looks like we're going to get a visit to the mound here, Don. And you know some of these rules better than I do. And I know I asked some of the coaches about this. There's a pitch limit. There's a amount of times per week they're allowed to pitch.
Yeah, and that's the second visit to the mound also. So
looks like he's leaving.
Yeah, Mueller will have to come out. Mueller, who was 3-0 in the year with 18 strikeouts and a 107 ERA.
So what is the rule on how much time you're allowed to give the pitcher to warm up to come in?
Yeah, only 8 pitches.
Okay.
He should be warmed up in the bullpen. Now, if you are in the field, let's say you're playing shortstop, you know, you should have warmed up between innings because you're still allowed only those 8 pitches, unless there's an injury. If somebody's injured, then you get as much time as you need.
Now, you talked about cold before. Now you're talking about wet. How does that affect the ball and the pitcher's grip and control?
Yeah, tough. I mean, if you can't get a grip on the ball, obviously you can't control it. New pitcher in. I don't have a number yet on that pitcher, and we haven't heard an announcement.
So, Don, we're doing more reference to this because of where we're at. But my wife played softball with Ellie Ripken, women's semi-pro.
Let me interrupt you just one second. Jack Hudson is the young man who has come in to pitch. Jack is senior. I don't have a record on him in terms of what his record is. But go ahead, Don. Sorry, Ray.
So we were invited to Ellie's wedding. The softball girls all took they did something where they put a polished shoes to dance. They put their shoes aside to dance. And then all of a sudden, Cal Senior comes through like he's sliding into home plate and slides through the polished shoes. And he was not a young man.
Cal Senior, again, there are so many Cal Ripken stories. One story I'll tell you is that when Cal Jr. made it to the major leagues and was getting some attention, Cal came up to me senior once and said, I won't use the word he used, but it was an expletive undeleted where he was saying, you know, let me clean it up if I can. Nobody knows who I am anymore. Cal Ripken is at shortstop. And he was not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, for his entire life, Cal Ripken Sr., proud of his son, obviously.
Right.
But Cal from Aberdeen had been the person growing up as I did, that you idolized him because he made it, you know, to the major leagues as a coach and manager.
Yes.
And suddenly now he was Cal Ripken's father. He said, what is that? I'm Cal Ripken's father. I am Cal Ripken.
Happens to all of us, not at that level, but, you know, if your children are successful in sports, then you are no longer successful in sports.
Yeah. Aiden Stromberger now, Aiden who fanned back in the second inning.
Again, there's a lot of right field line here. And if I was the runner on third base with the conditions and the grip of the ball, I'd be getting a decent lead off because any ball getting past the catcher is a run.
6-2 the score. This would be the tie run at the plate if you think about it.
Yes.
A home run here, and we'll get a brand new ball game.
Nice pitch.
Right. But that's what you want to do right now. Come in and throw strikes.
Well, most of the damage for Fallston has been done with walks.
Yep.
And a squib hit, one really nice hit ball. There have been a couple really solid hit balls, but if I had to be honest with you, Don, the way that John Carroll was putting the bat on the ball in this first inning, I thought this was going to be a wipeout for a while, and Fallston's making a game of this now.
And remember how young Fallston is, that one starter back from last year. 2 balls and a strike. Bases are loaded. Outside, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike.
In danger of walking in a run here.
That would be run number 3. Aiden Stromberger, a .278 hitter, 5 for 18 last year.
There
Up
it
high
is.
and inside, ball 4. So relief pitcher Hudson comes in and has, whoops, you saw the young man Lowy slide into the base, actually slip. Justin slip. I don't want to say that he slipped, slipped on the plate. I wouldn't say that.
It's hard to say that 3 times
It
fast.
is. So the runners move up, first, second. Justin Slip comes in to score. It is 6-3, and that brings up Tyler Conrad. Tyler, who got a base hit last time up.
So it seems to be their normal configuration on this infield. You'll get a shot at it later. The second baseman really seems to play up the middle a lot. And we've already had 1 ball go through the right side, but there's leaving a lot of room over there. And the first baseman, you know, does not need to hold the runner because their bases are loaded. But that
Squibber.
could be
Let's see if it gets the play. No, it goes to first base for the out at
got
first
the
base.
out.
Yeah, again, you're thinking, could you have gotten the force out at home? He allows the run to score. On the out goes 1-3 with the RBI. Coming in to score was Lucas Santora.
In that occasion, I think he made the right decision because that ball was like a swinging bunt, as they would call it. That would have been tough. He would have almost had to hit it to the plate, which I've seen some pitchers do, bat it with their hand to the plate. But once he made the decision was made to throw to first. That was a great play.
It was. Joey Podler at the bat now. Runners at second and third. Our score 6-4. So what had been, as you said, Ray, a game that looked like it was out of hand early.
Yeah.
Fallston has climbed right back in it. A base hit here, and we have a tie game. Perhaps if the runner can score from second base. Reese Conley on at third. One at second is Stromberger.
Don, do they ever consider doing a pitch clock in high school or college like they do pro now? Is that a
They do in college. I've noticed that they have that. High school, I'm not sure they have the technology yet to be able to do that. Swung on the miss.
went for a high one there?
Don't think you can get a view of it, but watching the JV team for Fallston behind home plate, they are doing the shenanigans back there to try to disrupt Hudson's motion as the batter. I mean, as the pitcher. 2 balls, 1 strike.
So
Strike 2, 2-2.
Oh, getting some boo birds on that one there, Don. That was a little bit high strike. So the third pitch, the batter really went up top to try to hit it, and as the coach would say, don't help the pitcher out, but again, easier said than done.
Joey Podler, the sophomore catcher. Foul back into the stands. Souvenir.
There's surveys done on the most difficult things to do in sports, and almost every time hitting a fastball in baseball is considered the most difficult skill.
Hitting a round ball with a round bat that's going 95 miles an hour. Swung on, tip foul. Did we just get a ball come our way?
Something came and hit me.
Some foreign substance.
Yes.
It was a ball.
I thought I was imagining things, Don.
No. Young man who retrieved the ball and then threw it off our feet.
He gave us a look like, I didn't do it, my brother did.
Joey, they have Joey Poulter on the scoreboard. I'm going to check, but yeah, it's Joey Podler. They have his name spelled incorrectly on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul
Good
back.
job fighting it off.
Boy, it is. Podler again, a sophomore.
So one thing I always like to see, Don, is can you get a manufacturer run with even an out? So with second and third and 1 out, you know, you just don't want to strike out,
Absolutely.
which happens a lot.
Put it in play.
You just want to put it in play and see if you can get that run home. Obviously, you'd prefer a hit. Obviously, you'd prefer a home run.
Tip foul. Did he miss it?
And he fouled it off again.
He did. Yeah. Good job by Potler to stay alive. 6-4. Fallston has scored 3 runs here in the top of the third. Had that 1 run back in the second. John Carroll scored all 6 of their runs in the bottom of the first. Swung on and missed.
Yeah,
big pitch by Hudson.
The ball broke down a lot.
2 out now. That'll bring up Garrett Kirsch. Garrett, who walked back in the second inning.
It's an important at bat here. This is what they call picking up your teammate. The last batter, unfortunately struck out on a tough pitch. And the thing you want your teammate to do right now is to pick you up and get that base hit.
Jack Hudson, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, senior, playing first base. Garrett Kirch, I should say. Jack Hudson now the pitcher for John Carroll. 294 hitter. 3 RBIs on the year. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack Hudson came into pitch after Reese Conley got on base on the walk. He's gotten 2 outs here. Ground ball toward the first baseman, fielded, and they're going to say, yeah, it is a fair ball made by Casey Carpenter and touches the bag, and that will bring the top of the third inning to an end, but not before the Fallston Cougars scored 3 runs. Looks like they got just 1 base hit, but they're able to put those 3 runs on the base.
So, Don,
here's a replay you'll see. I'm promised we'll see a replay. You think the booth is playing with us?
Another championship softball team, 85.
Here we go. You'll see Hudson making the delivery. Yeah, that's a fair ball right down that first baseline. Casey Carpenter able to make the play.
So basically, coaches can look at this glass half empty or glass half full. So technically speaking, they scored 4 runs. They're back in the game. But in the last 2 innings, Fallston has left the bases loaded with 1 out and second and third with 1 out.
Yep.
And a lot of times the coaches will look at that and say, left some ducks on the pond there. Got to get the bat on the ball, bring those runners in.
They're having some sports trivia out there, and the question was, who
stealing your job from you?
Yeah, who struck out Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, in softball? No, that wasn't what it was. Jenny Finch, the great softball pitcher, struck out some recent, and I'm going to not call the name to mind here, but back in the 1930s, there was a left-handed female pitcher who the Yankees came into town into Chattanooga, and they put her on the roster of the Chattanooga Lookouts in an exhibition game, and she fanned both Ruth and Gehrig in order. Yep, and Ruth and Gehrig were not playing. This pitcher was so good. I'll think of her name maybe before the night's out. But yeah, Jenny Finch also fanned some big ball players as well. So now we go to the bottom of the third inning. Fallston will send up Bryson Altman. Bryson, who walked back in the first inning.
Looks like an off-speed pitcher, Don. He looks like some finesse there.
We have a new pitcher in for Fallston. It's a right-hander.
It's a second finesse pitch there.
See if we can get a number on that young man. See if he cooperates and turns his back to us. I've had backs turn on me before.
Right.
Not that I wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a line shot. Center field moving on it. Center fielder makes the play.
It's a well-hit ball.
Luca Santora. Yep, thank you. Pitcher is number 8. That's Carter Flanagan. Thank you, Booth. Carter Flanagan now into pitch as we start the bottom of the third inning.
That ball was put out there pretty far there, and luckily it was within a four-step range of our center fielder.
Cam Leach now the batter. It's a young man we talked about that the coaches said raw power. He probably has more power than anybody in the entire John Carroll lineup. That's saying something. Fly ball.
Way up there.
Left field. Moving on to his left fielder, Evan Pop. And he hauls it in one-handed.
I was going to say that could have brought down rain, but we already had rain.
Ray, you're a sharp cookie. You're right. That could have brought rain if it weren't already raining. I love
That's
it.
right.
2 up and 2 down now as Owen O'Reilly comes to the bat, the number 9 hitter. Get back to the pitcher. Ground ball to third base, fielded by Stromberger. Throw to first base, low and by the first baseman. Holding on at first base will be O'Reilly on the error to the third baseman on the throw.
Good job by first base coach. You got a good shot in there, Chris Roberts. The runner turned and thought about going over, and Chris literally ran over there and pointed at the bag and said, "Get back there."
Get back there, boy.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
something
good
like
backup by catcher, and the first baseman got over there pretty quickly.
They'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Joey Cowden. Joey baseball by the catcher. That's going to go down to the second base.
So we were
O'Reilly.
one throw from a 3 up, 3 down inning.
Yep.
And now we've got a skipped ball and then a wild pitch and a man on second base.
And the leadoff hitter up the top of the lineup. I mean, you were heading 7, 8, and 9. Looked like you were going to get out unscathed in the bottom of the third. Now you got to work at it. Ground ball, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So how much does this affect you as a batter, adjusting the one pitcher to the other that quickly, you know?
Well, yeah, especially a lefty to a righty. Yeah, you got an entirely different look. That's when you want to talk to the batters who've come up before you. Fly ball center field, Santora.
That's going to
Back.
be a long run. He's there. Yes.
Nice play by Luca Santora, and the out is recorded on that long fly ball into center field.
So in the scorebook is just 3 outs.
Yep, no runs, no hits,
Yep.
1 error, 1 runner left on base. We have played 3 full. It is a 6-4 game now. John Carroll go through 6 runs in the first inning. Fallston came back with 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and that's where we are.
So Don, I have a John Carroll softball story. The girl came out from my track team, and she was apparently a star as a freshman and sophomore, and she came out from my track team as a junior, and I was like, "Why are you out my track team? You started on the softball team." She goes, "I found out I like running and jumping more than I did playing softball, so I thought I'd come out and run and jump."
There you are. Yeah. You know, and the great thing about it is, you know, you want to do what makes you happy.
Right.
You don't want somebody to tell you, you know, you got to play football. No, I want to play soccer. You know, it's your one chance to be a kid.
Yes.
You know, when you get to be an adult, then you got to go to work.
Do what you like.
You know, and you got to have, you know, family, and you got to take care of them. But you're a kid once. And,
Yes.
you know, just enjoy it to the full extent.
Well,
That's
and
my advice.
for 90% of athletes, they don't even make high school teams.
Yep.
For 90% of high school players, they don't play college.
Boy, good point. And for 90% of college, more than that, they never turn pro.
Yep.
So, you know, it's that minuscule few.
I should have said 99%
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Well, now we go to the 4th inning. Landon Bell, Landon, the right fielder, the senior, fanned, and he was a young man who unfortunately fanned, and Dallas Brooks make that throw down to second base on the strike him out, throw him out back in the 2nd inning.
So the rain has definitely picked up again. Looking at the lights here, it kind of slowed down for a little while. They're picking up again.
Pop up.
Could that
First
stay
baseman
in?
moving on it, calling it, and making
Good
the
job.
catch. Good job by first baseman Casey Carpenter, the UNC Wilmington headed young man.
You ever-
4-year player on the team. Had a 398 last year,
That's
did
amazing.
Carpenter.
You ever notice in pro ball, pop up to the infield and the pitcher's acting like he's going to get it, and the other infielders are like, "Get out of the way."
Get out the way. Your job is to pitch. Leadoff hitter Zach Lowy. Zach, the shortstop. Batting for the 3rd time. Walked and scored last time up. Strike 1.
Right down the middle. Trying to think if we've had a 3 up, 3 down inning yet, Don.
We almost had one just a moment ago.
Right.
We did in the 1st inning when Fallston went out, strikeout, and ground out. But yeah, there's been a lot of traffic on the bases since then.
Yes.
No balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, right field. Moving on it is O'Reilly. looking up into the wind and the
And
rain.
the raindrops hitting him in the face.
Whoa. The out is recorded.
That's got to be tough, looking right up into the raindrops.
Oh, no question about it. You know, the big thing is you want to run on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you run on your heels, your head bobs around, you end up not being able to see the ball. Here's Justin Slip. The last time up, he walked and scored. Justin, a sophomore, one of the young men on this team.
It's a nice pickup by the catcher on that low ball.
Just think about it now. You're a sophomore, and the rest of the league has to put up with you for the next 2 years, you know? So that's when you know you're in trouble. And Fallston is that kind of team building for the future because, like we said, their JV team last year, 17-0. You know, they lose 90% of their pitching. They, graduated just about everybody. But, now they've got this team that's competitive. It's a great thing about Fallston. You look at this team, every year they are competitive.
Yes.
Last 2 years winning the region title, winning the UCBAC.
And they're a 1A, 2A school each year,
Yeah,
so they don't have the same numbers to pull athletes from.
Swung on a disc. Yeah, they're a 2A school now.
But from what I know, Don, barely. Like they're one of the lower populated 2A schools.
They are. Yeah.
So,
But they are a team that has had success. Ground ball, pitcher
that could be a
slips.
bunt hit. Oh, that's a nice pickup.
Nice play by the pitcher. Great
Wow.
play by Hudson.
Wow,
He's
he
able
is-
to maintain his balance, make the pickup, and the throw to first base for the out. You're right, Ray.
He bounced off that mound quickly, and after he made that throw, the camera didn't quite catch him, but he was doing a little dance to the dugout there with a little bit of pride for himself.
Yeah. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody on left, and nobody left on base. We have played 3.5 innings now. Here you'll see this replay. Watch Ray how he makes. He's going the other way.
Yeah,
He slips
he recovered well. Barehanded that.
and threw the ball to first base perfectly.
Yep.
I mean, that is, you put a star beside that one. That looked easy, yeah, 1-3. It was not easy at all.
He could have easily lost his footing. That's like what they say, pitcher needs to be their own best friend. And thinking back to way back, Don, besides Palmer, Jim Cott, but I remember one Baltimore Oriole, two of them, Boddicker and Musina were very good fielders.
Yep.
And some are not.
Yeah, Jim Cott, I think, won 18 straight
Gold gloves.
Yeah.
Palmer won a good 12 to 15, I think.
Yeah, Palmer was a good fielder. Yeah. But you're right, yeah. Being your own best friend, being the pitcher, making the play when you have to.
Yep.
We go now to the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, this is a slow game, Don, because of what you said. Lots of traffic, lots of base runners. Haven't had a lot of quick innings.
Let's see, do we have a new pitcher? No, this is Flanagan still. Carter Flanagan on the mound. He came on last inning. Did a good job. John Carroll, who had those, there you see the rain. That's some serious rain now.
Yes.
You know, it's no longer just a little shower. I must be this like rain magnet. As I say, we've had 3 games this year.
So it's your fault.
It is. It rained the first game. It rained the second game. And it wasn't supposed to rain tonight, but lo and behold,
So
it's raining.
I showed total respect, but when these conditions are bad, can we see a lot more strikes being called soon?
The umpire says, hey, I'm getting paid one way or the other. Let's get out of here. Hey, speaking of get out of here, how about Casey Carpenter? Go back to that first inning. Whoa, what a shot. A 2-run home run. That ball was hit. You know, that field out there, it's like 380 to left center. That ball was a good 10, 15 feet over the fence.
I haven't been to many Ironbird games where I've seen them hit the ball that far.
Pop-up foul and out of play. Carpenter batting .529 this year. 5 home runs and 24 RBIs coming in. He's now got 6 and 26. John Carroll scored those 6 runs in the first inning, and wow, it looked like this was going to be a cakewalk.
Yes.
But they're in a ball game now.
Yeah, they need to get the bats going again.
Ground ball. Second baseman fields it off his shins and throws to first base.
Right.
Safe.
So Don, he blocked it off his chest.
Yeah.
and he would have had a good chance at it, but his back foot slipped.
Yeah.
And he didn't get good footing to pick it up on the first effort and throw it. I think that's a little bit of the rain on the clay now is affecting things.
Yeah. That ball was hit hard. It took a high bounce. It looked like it hit somewhere in the chest area.
And when I say that, I mean the field is outstanding.
Yeah.
But even an outstanding maintained field can't keep taking this much rain without it having some conditions.
Wild pitch as Carpenter will go down to second base. Runner on at second, nobody else out, and Will Ryan, the batter. Will got a single and scored back in the first, grounded out on the force out last time up. Actually, no, he had walked and got put out on the force out.
So earlier on, when it was a 6-0 game, you would have never thought a little ball. Now that it's 6-4 mid-game, do you consider manufacturing a run? Does it really matter a lot now? Would you bunt?
Yeah, Will is your third hitter. I think maybe you let him.
Yeah,
you let him take a swing. But you're right. It's no longer a blowout now. It's a run for run. You got to, scratch for every run you can get. Bottom of the fourth inning, Will Ryan, the batter, 452, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 12 walks, just 3 strikeouts all year in 15 games. Hangs up high.
3-1 pitch.
3-1. Carter came in. He's had good control up until just now. And Ray, you mentioned maybe the weather conditions. Up high, ball 4.
So now you're same answer, Don, because you're correct. It's the number 4 batter coming up now.
Yeah. So
you're not going to bunt him to second and third. But if this was the 7-8 batter, 9 batter, you'd be thinking about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Drew Jordan, the batter. Drew is, as you said, the cleanup hitter, shortstop. Drew walked in the first. He got on a force out in the third inning, stole a base, got as far as third base. I don't know what's going on there. Looks like they're making some kind of a change. The umpire's looking at his lineup card. Let's see, is this a new batter coming in? No, it's
maybe.
Jordan. Jordan is still batting. Not sure what that's all about. We'll try to figure it out. Drew Jordan.
I don't think he was looking at what his dinner plans were later.
No.
No, good.
No.
So I've had people ask me before, why can't number 3, 4, 5
ground ball, third base. Third baseman tags third and gets the out. And that's
good
the
decision.
only out he gets. Nice play there by third baseman Aiden Stromberger. Aiden fielded it backhanded, got the force out at third.
So the question that people have asked me is, why don't you ever ask Eddie Murray or Cal Ripken or whoever to bunt if it's a really important situation? And the question is, do you not because they can hit the ball so well, or do they not bunt as well as your 1, 8, 9 batters?
Yeah, probably both.
Yes.
Dallas Brooks, the batter. Brooks, the catcher. Brooks fan last time up. He got a 2 RBI single, 2 RBI double actually in the first inning. Brooks, the young man that we talked about as being a draft possibility. Great defensive catcher. Yeah, sometimes too, the big hitters will tell you, hey, I get the big bucks not to bunt. Sometimes it's like an ego thing.
Yes.
Yeah, bunting is sort of a lost art, even among the punch and Judy hitters, if you will.
And I'm showing my age. I love the bunting game. I love the little ball game.
You think about it, back in the day, the shortstops were Pee Wee Reese, Scooter Rizzuto, Little Louie. Now you've got Cal Ripken, 6'5", Cal Ripken, and Jeter being 6'3½". So, the whole game has changed in terms of, what you're expecting out of your shortstop.
So we have 3-1 count here. So he has to bring it to the plate. So you're looking for a fat pitch here to try to drive. Inside.
Yep, ball 4. That'll load them up.
I think this is the first time we've had the bases loaded for John Carroll, but I could be wrong. Because most of that first inning they had, they kept getting base hits and not leaving the runners filling the bases. But big opportunity for him here.
It really is, yeah. Miguel Leon up now. Miguel Fan last time up, he got a 2 RBI single back in the first inning. Big spot for Fallston. Force out anywhere. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch.
That might be the fastest I've seen him bring it so far.
Yeah. He knows he's got to be able to get the ball across the plate, and with one out, looking for a force out at home if he could. John Carroll looking to pad their lead. Curveball.
Wow.
2 strikes now. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out. Ground ball.
Could
To
be
the shortstop, fielded. Throw to second base for the out. Gets the force out, and that's all they'll get. The run will score. Run scoring from third is Will Ryan. Out at second is Brooks. Safe on it. Force out at first is Leone. Runners now at first and third.
That's the manufactured run with an out that I talked about, and I think that's one of the unsung things about the sport of baseball. Those runs matter. I mean, he didn't strike out. He brought in a run. That could be the winning run later. We never know.
2 out. Runners at first and third. And now, Ray, I'm going to put you in the manager's shoes. Do you let that runner run from first base?
So I haven't.
There he goes.
Yes, I do, Don. yes, I do.
Oh, good call, Ray.
Yes, see how smart I am.
Safe at second base on the solo base. Now, had he been thrown out, I would have blamed you. Runners at second and third.
Well, it was
Fly ball into
that
center
should be
field.
the third out.
Santora moving and makes the catch out in center field. Lucas Santora records it.
I don't know.
So they get 1 run. 1 run on no base hits.
Sorry, one of my parents here, Don, was telling me one of my athletes is here and might come say hi to me. That's the joys of coaching, right?
1 run and no hits, 1 error. And there were 2 runners left on base. We have now played 4 full innings with John Carroll leading by 7-4. Are you being harassed by somebody? Does he know that you're on national TV?
We have the same amount of fans as ESPN, right?
We do. Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is internationally telecast.
No, it's the joys of coaching is, seeing all these people. You go to games at every single school in this county, and people recognize you, Don, from all your years doing this, and then you still have people you coached who are now coaching.
You know, the unfortunate thing is, having been a writer at the Aegis over the years and being in a number of jobs, you see people and you always say, do they really like me, or are they mad at me because I flunked their son in class, or I wrote that article that they didn't like? So my first thing is, if they recognize me, see what demeanor they have.
Yes.
If they have a knife or a gun, I tend to run. Yeah, that's what I've been taught to do.
Well,
So yeah, you're right. The problem, Ray, is when you're old and you've been in the same place your entire life. Now, see, if you move around, moving target, moss gathering stone. A stone gathering moss, that kind of thing. But no, when you're in the same place, you're in trouble. Your sins follow you around. You notice that your friends come and go, but your enemies accumulate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you do wonder with coaching, did I not put them in the game the time they want to? Did I not, did I pinch hit for them? Did I not let them pitch or bat when they were the pitcher? How do they feel about it?
Lucas Santora at bat now. Luca is, there's a baseball game going on, Ray. Guess what? How dare them interrupt our conversation? Lucas Santora, now the batter, number 3 hitter. Got a base hit last time up and scored a run.
Oh, he checked. He held it.
Yeah, the umpire says agrees with you. Luca, again, just to remind you, he was a John Carroll student until last year when he transferred to Fallston. So played at John Carroll. As you know, I'm sure he has lots of friends on the John Carroll team. Got a base hit and had some good plays in the outfield. So, and there's another ball another base hit.
Don, I've been asking for that ball through that spot of the infield the whole game.
You got it. Lucas Santora 2 for 3 now on at first base.
Well, we talked about the type of hitters that they have now. They have these exit velocity. They have the swinging upward more than the line drive swing. I love the old school game. Everybody loves the home run, but I love the person that can just hit the ball the opposite way, slap the ball the opposite way. That matters too.
Reese Conley, the former pitcher, now batting. Not sure where Reese went. I didn't see him because when he came out as a pitcher, it looks like he stayed in the game. And you do have a limited substitution rule in high school baseball,
Yes.
where you can come back in once as a starter. So I don't know if Reese just came out of the game and now is re-entering. And that may have been what the discussion was about earlier. In any event, Reese is now batting.
I noticed that we have a DH for our left fielder.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you could do a DH for more than just your pitcher or catcher.
You're right. In high school, you can. In major leagues and in pro ball, no, you have to DH for the pitcher. But yeah, the high school rule is you can DH for anyone.
We do have a leadoff first base, and there he
goes. Swung on. It's a hit and run.
He had to come back because he fouled it.
Reese Conley, the young man, just a junior, got a single, got a double actually in the second inning. Tried again, stole third, and then scored on the wild pitch or on an error actually. Scored the first run for Fallston.
So I'm getting hugs here, Don, from my girls.
You go ahead, Ray. Forget the game. If I
know,
had girls around hugging me, I'd probably like it as well. Notice they haven't come over to hug me. Notice that. It's okay. It's all right. I'm not hurt about it at all. Go ahead and hug Ray.
You probably got a hug from Kyle Ripken before, and I didn't, so that's different. I mean, more famous.
It's okay. I'm not hurt. My feelings are not at all bothered because Ray got big hugs and I got like.
They're surprised that I'm broadcasting a TV game, Don.
Yeah.
They don't think I'm important enough.
Ground ball towards second base.
That's a tough play.
Safe at second.
Whoa, did you see that stop of the first baseman?
Was he able to touch second base? Yeah,
they called the out.
Good job by second baseman Leone. Was able to catch the ball, make the tag at second base, and the throw to first, not in time to get the runner.
I'm hoping that they can get the replay on this snag at first base for us.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that as you were writing, but geez, they literally, he dove. That ball was heading to the dugout for sure.
Now batting is Aiden Stromberger. Throw back to first base. Yeah, I'm not sure. That was the second baseman who made the catch at second base, wasn't it?
Yes, and by the way, what a flip by the shortstop.
Yeah.
His momentum was taking him in a way that you wouldn't think he would have been able to flip that ball back to him.
Ground ball. Hit into the hole. Shortstop diving. Throwing to
first
base. It's going to be
He's off the base.
He is off the base. Good play by shortstop Drew Jordan. Give Jordan credit for that play before and also keeping the ball in the infield on the infield single.
So the runner going to second base slid, which he should have because he didn't know whether he was going to throw to second or not. But the momentum of the shortstop was not in a manner that was allowing you to pivot to throw back to second.
Yeah.
Very heads-up play all the way around.
It was, yeah. One out now, runners at first and second. Tyler Conrad, the batter. Tyler got an RBI, ground out to the pitcher last time. Throw to first base. He is out at first base the second time we have seen catcher Dallas Brooks being able to catch someone off base. That time it looked like the runner simply slipped and couldn't get back. Wow, what a throw.
He's got an arm. I tell you, that's an asset.
Here you'll see it. He comes up and throws the ball, and the runner at first base slipped, and look at that throw right on the button, and the tag is made by Carpenter at first base.
That was a very good tag, too. I mean, he slapped that ball down quick.
Great replay, too. Thank you, guys. They did a wonderful job. That play, again, puts Fallston now what was a budding inning. Now they've got 2 outs and a runner on second base.
Yeah. Talk about an unsung hero. This catcher has definitely impacted this game defensively.
Absolutely. And the poor runner at first base, we're talking about Stromberger. He didn't take a big lead. He could have gotten back, but as you said, those slippery conditions out there, at first step, he sort of went down a bit and couldn't get back.
He didn't get anything out of the first step or the second step. And he tried to do that switch my arms things at the very end to get that arm in there, but the first baseman's tag was so fast and aggressive.
Boy, and give Carpenter credit. Ray, you credit him making that play before, keeping the ball from going wild. He caught that ball, thrown perfectly by Brooks, and put the tag right on him. What a play. Swung on and missed.
Well, you had the diving stop on the double play attempt by the first baseman earlier. Then you had that tag. This is a big defensive inning for John Carroll.
Absolutely.
And the flip from the shortstop to the second baseman.
Yep. Their comfortable lead now is 7-4, not nearly as comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Fallston looked like they had an inning, developing into some kind of a rally. Timeout is called.
Yeah, these are the little things in baseball, Don, that every sport has that matter. The good leadoff at third base, scoring the run on the wild pitch, the good defensive plays, every one of them really matter.
Hudson on the curveball, bit wide. The walk is recorded as Conrad will go down to first base. Now think about how important that pickoff was.
Yep.
That'll bring up Joey Potler. Joey, the sophomore catcher, fanned last time up. Walked back in the second inning. 0 for 1 officially. Foul ball. Potler just a sophomore.
You don't see nearly as many sophomore males in the sport on the varsity as you do females. Especially a sport that strength and throwing power and everything else really matters.
And maybe during a normal year, if you're Fallston with lots of seniors, you might not. But because they have only one returning starter coming back, really have 5 players on the team that actually had varsity experience, but only one of those, and we're talking about shortstop Lowy, who actually started last year.
Well, this looks like it could be a good team this year, and looks like it could be an even a better team next year.
I think you're right. Grant Morlock was talking about that the coach for Fallston, that we're developing this year, and we're not saying, okay, this year is a waste. We're going to play hard this year. We're going to be good this year. But look out in years to come. Back-to-back region championships, back-to-back Huckback champions. Ground ball up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. Leon flips to Jordan. That goes 4-6 for the force out, and they get out of the inning.
And that was an example there, Don, where I've been saying the whole game how that John Carroll plays their second baseman really up the middle a lot, and if they hadn't been, that ball could have been through.
Yep. So see, they are smart, and we are
not as smart.
Not as smart. Okay,
Yeah.
Fine.
I like that answer better than the other one that we could have said.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We have now played 4.5 innings with the score of John Carroll leading by 7-4.
Well, this is coming to that point here now where I'm wondering with both teams, are we going to go to a third pitcher at some point before this game's over? Because both teams already entered their second pitcher by the third inning.
Yeah, and remember, Ray, this is not a league game, so it doesn't count per se. If you're Fallston, you're playing in the Tidings division, so you've got to get ready for that. And if you're John Carroll, you're playing in that A conference.
Yes.
So yeah, this is kind of like, I don't want to call it an exhibition game, but it's a non-league game.
In the old days, Don, way before most of our listeners are going to know about, you had to be in the top 4 teams in the public school to make your region.
Yeah.
So then you'd be going all out to win this game. Not that either team's not, because this is a friendly rivalry. And there's a lot of John Carroll students that live in the Fallston area. So some of these kids grew up playing Little League ball against each other, club ball with each other. So they want to win.
Yeah, this Fallston team, they are 2-3 on the year. I believe I said this, but let me go over it again. They played Harford Tech in a 2-game series. So this year, the way the divisions are working is you play a team 2 times in a row. They defeated Tech by 12-0 and then by 10-9. In that 10-9 game, they were down 8-2 in the 5th inning, down 9-6 in the bottom of the 7th, and won the ball game. Lost to River Hill, also then lost to Bow Manor in a 2-game series. Line shot into left field. That's going to be back and making the catch is the left fielder. Good job there by Evan Pop. Got a nice jump on the ball and made the catch on the hitter, who was Cam Leach. Leach, the young man we talked about with all that power. Hit it on a line into left field for the out.
That was a well-struck ball, and that's the second batter in a row, one for each team, that the defensive player was positioned very well. They shaded him towards the foul line. Otherwise, that would have been a double or triple.
Yeah, Evan Pop, the young man in left field, is just a junior. He went back and made that play. He got a really nice jump, Ray, as you saw, and he was there, almost made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we've got a pinch hitter coming up. This is Kieran Demerick, Jr. Kieran will be pinch hitting for Owen O'Reilly in the number 9 position.
So this might be a case, Don, because of what we just discussed, where John Carroll coach might try to get more players into the game, the second half of the game.
And remember, it is the Josh Hamer Memorial game. We've talked about it, and each half inning they've been doing things to honor Josh Hamer, parts of his life and parts of John Carroll. Again, there's a line shot in the left field that looks like it's falling fast. It is fair for the base hit. Turning first and going down to second with a double and a head first slide is Demerick. So if you're going to pinch hit, you might as well go ahead and get a double.
I think he slid 10 yards, Don.
And as wet and gummy as that infield is. So 2 well-hit balls, both the left field, one a line out to Pop. Pop getting over and making that pickup, but he couldn't get it back in time to avoid Demerick to going in for the double.
That's a total athlete thing to do. Even if your coach sometimes says you don't need to slide in home, it's fun.
Yep.
You know?
Here's Joey Baseball, Joey Cowden. We talked to Coach Darian Seiler about him, and you know, why do you call him Joey Baseball? Well, because that's what he is. You talk about a gym rat, you know, gym rat in basketball.
Yes.
Somebody that you can't get out of the gym is always there. Well, this is the kind of guy that Joey Cowden is. He just loves the game. 333 hitter, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs, 26 runs scored. And that's in 15 games.
Our runner on second base is getting a very good lead. Anything to the right side, he's definitely going to go to third on easily.
1 out.
Ooh, that hurts.
Got the catcher somewhere.
Pitcher hustling home.
Yeah, they're all going to check on catcher Potler. You know, you've got protection. You've got a chest protector. You've got shin guards. You've got a helmet. But that ball seems to find a spot not protected.
Yeah, I've seen some times where the one finger that's exposed, I've seen some catchers do this thing where they have one finger out of the glove, and I would never understand that. But, yeah, you're right. You're going to hit right in the inside of that knee pad.
Yeah.
Barely miss this and that.
You got to be tough. And you got to be just a little bit, I don't want to say crazy, no, but to be a goalie, you know, in field hockey or soccer, you got to be a little fearless. I think that's a better word.
There are definitely more dangerous positions in each sport. I always thought before they changed some of the rules, the kick returner and the punt returner in football, you got 11 guys running at you full speed, and you're looking up in the air to catch a ball.
Yeah.
And in catcher, you're going to get run over. You know, you don't have many collisions at first, second, and third, but you have some collisions at catcher.
Yep. That's the thing about Cal Ripken. When you think about it, played 2,131 games and then extended it to 2,652 games. Played shortstop, okay, for most of those time, and you get run into by people. You know, it's not like Lou Gehrig, don't want to minimize Lou Gehrig, who played first base, which is kind of a position that you don't get run into a lot. Line shot into left field. That's a base hit.
Will they send them?
Pop makes the pickup, and here comes the throw.
That's
a nice
good
throw
arm.
to home. He is going to be safe at home, and down to second base cleanly is Joey Cowden with the base hit. Boy, what a nice play by Pop to be able to catch that ball and then showed a great arm. But good running by...
He definitely did not need a cutoff, man. That was a big arm out there.
Darrell Mike, the young man who was on second base, able to turn and score. He showed a great deal of speed as well.
I give total credit. I mean, the batter hit a bullet. The left fielder made a great play. But that runner scored because of the jump he had. I mean, I told you he kept getting a good jump.
Casey Carpenter now. Casey had that long home run back in the first inning. Flew out to center field, and last time up got on an error. He is 1 for 3 officially. 2 RBIs. 529 batter coming in. 5 home runs, now 6, counting the one tonight.
Oh, there he goes.
Potler throw down to third.
What a stop.
Boy, nice pick and nice throw and good play at third base by the third baseman, Stromberger.
So the pitcher's doing a very good job, but that's they're getting the lead off of him. And again, it's really tough to turn around and throw behind a runner at second base. It's a lot easier to keep a runner on at third and first.
Cowden has his now 12th stolen base of this year, 12 stolen bases, and now the 16th game. Foul back.
Well, Don, I told you I like speed, so he's my new favorite player then.
Joey Baseball. Now we know why they call him Joey Baseball.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of steals by the end of this year, too. And you mentioned it before, Don. John Carroll plays a lot more game than the public school teams do.
Yep. Joey's only a junior, by the way. I don't think we've mentioned that. So while John Carroll has all their starters returning, imagine here's a team, if you're a coach, you open practice on, whatever it was you opened, you get everybody back.
Yep.
And then you're Grant Morlock, the coach of Fallston, and you got one player back. The curse of, coaching in high school. I was talking to Grant Morlock, and I said, hey, COVID occurred in 2020. In college, they give you a COVID year. You should have been able to keep some of those seniors. He said that would have been a good idea. Fine shot into left field by the third baseman.
That's one where they say that ate up the third baseman, but that is a hard ball to stop.
No chance at all.
I mean, the ball doesn't cooperate with the infield sometime. That ball took a high hop. I think where he put his glove is where I would have put my glove too, but that ball took some topspin hop over his glove.
I would put my glove in front of my face. Protect the family's heirloom there.
That's why when I played slow pitch softball with my dad and brother and our friends, I didn't have the baseball background they did. Here comes a good play of that.
You'll see the replay. This ball is just smoked down that third base line. Boom! And up. Before you can react, it goes right by the third baseman.
I took some infield practice. And you think slow pitch softball, the ball comes hard. Men's fast pitch. I don't know how those people don't play with a hockey mask. Ball comes so fast. Women's softball. What's the saying, Don? If you actually hit a hard pitch, it's going to come back off the bat harder than a slow pitch.
There you see the Patriot mascot.
Yes.
We're trying to find out what his name was or her name, but they just said he's a Patriot.
It's the only one that's staying dry, Don.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not his real face, is it?
I hope not. If it is, no.
Not going to be a model.
No. Okay, here we go with Will Ryan now, the batter. Will, the number 3 hitter in the lineup. Will has been on every time, scored twice, walked twice, got on a force out. Will, a .452 batter.
John Carroll's put 2 important runs on the board here to extend their lead to 5.
Yep.
With only 2 at-bats left for Fallston. That's big.
9-4 is our score. It was 6-0 after the first, then 6-1, then 6-4, and now John Carroll has come in and added some insurance runs.
Yeah, the one last inning was important. The 2.
Ground ball, second base.
Oh,
off the second baseman.
Got to keep playing.
Turning second, heading for third, and going to second base safely. So the error to the second baseman puts runners at second and third.
Now batting for the Patriots, shortstop number 2.
Boy, and you're right, Will Ryan, he didn't slow down at all. And that ball was right in front of him. He knew what he had to do, got all the way down to second base. Runners at second and third. 1 out in this inning.
Yeah, that ball ate him up. It was a hard hit ball. It's a tough ball to call an error because it's a really tough ball to field. You're better off with a grounder ball that hits the ground 3 or 4 times or a one hopper way earlier than right at your glove.
Drew Jordan now, Drew, at the bat. Drew, the number 4 hitter, 375 hitter. Swung on and missed.
That's why I've always been amazed by good first basemen, the way they can scoop that ball on short hops.
Yeah. And boy, they're the infielder's best friend because that error that was going to go up on your ledger now is just an out. Line shot, that's going to be a base hit. That'll score 2. Santora coming up and throwing. Throws it high and wide. And going down to second base on the single.
He's
turning
trying to go to
second
third,
and
Don.
heading third. He's going to be safe at
Oh,
third.
he might go. No.
Nope. He's going to stay right there. Drew Jordan gets the single, goes down to second on the throw, and moves to third on the error.
So anytime the base coaches usually raise their voice. When he was thinking about going home, he's like, no, get back to that
Stay
bag.
right here. So now the gates have opened for John Carroll. They've scored 4 runs here in this bottom of the 4th inning. Check it, bottom of the 5th inning.
So we didn't even mention it, Don. We got 2 Brookses in this game. Dallas Brooks and another
And
Brooks.
there's Dallas Brooks.
Oh, that
Line
might sail.
shot. Santora
No.
making the catch. What a great job by Santora on the sacrifice fly. Boy, he was off on the crack of the bat with Santora.
That was a good play.
Made the catch. Great play. RBI on the sacrifice fly. Scoring is Jordan. 5th run of the inning. That ball was smoked, Ray.
That was on the line for sure.
That was Dallas Brooks again. Brooks hit by a pitch. Out unassisted. Last time up walked. Now he's got the RBI sac fly.
So 2 big innings for John Carroll. 6-1 first and a 5-run 5th.
Yeah. Leading Mile by 12-4. The Josh Hamer Memorial Baseball Game. Ground ball foul. Ooh. You know, again, if I'm the third base coach, I'm going to be back in the back of that box, you know? I'm going to say, keep it fair. I don't know. There's nobody on base. I don't need to, wave anybody around.
No. Same thing with the players and the coaches on the dugout. There was a lot more John Carroll players over the dugout railing. Oh, hit by pitch.
Hit by the pitch. Got him right in between the 1 and the 3. Miguel Leon hit by the pitch.
There was one foul ball that went right over the player's head on the John Carroll bench earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed the next couple innings there wasn't as many of them leaning over that railing.
Yeah. You want to be in the game, but you want to survive.
Yes.
Looks like we got another pinch hitter coming in for John Carroll. Looks like, all right, now see, Ray, I'm going to let you pronounce this name because I know you're so good at pronouncing names.
Number what?
Number 9.
Oh my gosh, Don, you are really working me.
No, see, I'm giving you a chance to be a star.
Hayden Niedzlakowski.
Yeah. Let's spell it Niedzilkowski. Niedzilkowski.
Yep, that's what I'm going with.
Yep. Well, sorry, we do apologize, Hayden, if we have butchered your last name.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that we're not the first ones.
That's right. We will be referring to you as Hayden.
Hayden.
Here goes another runner.
Potler with the throw and the stolen base. Miguel Leon in safely at second base. That's his second stolen base of the night.
Well, Don, I only have a 4-letter last name, H-R-U-Z, and people butcher my name. So
Ground
that's
ball
a
to
ground
first
ball.
base.
Should be his
Fielded
own play.
nicely by the first baseman. And the out is recruited. That was Garrett Kirsch. Does it unassisted, 3 UNA. So 5 runs in that inning. Looks like there were 1, 2, 3 base hits, 5 runs on 3 base hits, 2 errors, and there was 1 runner left on base. Yeah, Ray, I've been meaning to ask you, they put an H on the beginning of your last name, H-R-U-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a wasted letter, don't you think?
It is, but believe it or not, the H is very soft, so it's ruse.
Oh, it's
not ruse.
It's not ruse.
It's ruse.
It's ruse.
Yes.
Boy, I gotta practice that. So it's ruse.
Yes. So
Sort of like
we
phlegm,
used to
cruise.
get Hertz, Rutz, everything else.
Yeah.
And very interesting mail. And I asked my dad, what's that name? And it's Slovakian.
Ah.
And I said, what percentage of it is Slovakian? And he said, your left pinky.
Now, is it a shortened like with Ruzuszewski or?
I'm not sure.
I was watching Jeff Dunham the other night, the great ventriloquist, and he was doing the dead terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ahmed, the dead terrorist.
Oh, yes.
And he said, well, how do you spell your name? A C, phlegm. So perhaps the ruse is
Yeah.
phlegm, R-U-Z.
Yeah.
No.
So
So,
we are mostly everything but Slovakian, but that's where we got our name from.
there you go.
Yes.
Ruse. So you don't just say rouge, you say ruse.
Sort of.
Sort of.
I'll
I'll practice it.
We have very few of us around. I would imagine there's a lot more people with your last name around the area.
Yeah, they're a dime a dozen basically.
Mhm.
Morrisons are, we had a college professor once who said, "Oh, Mr. Morrison, how do you spell your last name?" And I said, M-O-R-R. He said, "Oh, too bad." Samuel Eliot Morrison, very famous,
Right.
spells his last name with an R. One
Oh,
R,
okay.
not two.
Okay.
So he was very disappointed that I was not of the Samuel Eliot Morrison clan.
Mm-hmm.
We come from the hills of West Virginia.
So my grandfather was a great baseball man, and he's in the Dundalk Hall of Fame.
Ah,
And my father was a great baseball man. My uncle was also. So they played back. They played against Al Kaline.
really?
Yes.
At Southern High School
Yes.
back in the day. Al Kaline, young people are saying, who?
Mm-hmm.
Al Kaline, who won a batting title at age 20. We should probably talk about what's happening in the game.
Yes,
What do you
we
think?
should.
Fallston now batting in the top of the sixth inning. They're going to send up, let's see. Yeah, Garrett Kirsch at the bat.
To our defense, Don, there was a long break between the innings there.
Yes.
Is it a new pitcher or the same pitcher?
It is a new pitcher, and we should give you that number too. If he'll turn us back again so we can give you his number and name.
Mm-hmm.
Fly ball. Moving on it is the right fielder. That might be. I don't know if they put O'Reilly back out there or if they allowed Daramak to stay in.
29 is pitching.
29, we're saying?
Yes.
I don't have a 29 on my. 28 is Anthony Russo. Yeah, 28, Anthony Russo is pitching. Thank you, Booth.
So I did predict the possible third pitcher, and to your point, with it being a non-league game, but I'm impressed that they have three pitchers,
Yeah.
and not every team does.
Yeah, you figure John Carroll probably has more because they play so many games.
Yeah.
That they're going to need a deep staff.
They have a big roster too, so
There's another fly
that
ball
could
to
be
right
trouble.
field.
Let's see. No.
And again, we're assuming that that's Daramak who stayed in right field after pinch hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Being so far away, we don't get the official score to give us the information. So we will assume that.
Does the first baseman feel excluded that they throw the ball around the infield with everybody but
You
them?
know, I noticed that, and they started that maybe 30 years ago. They used to throw the ball to the first baseman and back and forth. Now the first baseman is left out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I would feel sort of like I felt when the girls came over and gave you hugs and looked at me like, get away.
I have coached them since they were little, so
Okay, fine, okay. brings up Zach Lowy. Zach is the leadoff hitter. Zach got on a walk back in the fourth inning, scored a run. Fly ball in right field. Now, are we going to see the right fielder make?
That could be a tweener ball. No,
Second
Got
baseman
it.
makes the play. Good play by Miguel Leon.
it's a long range.
Yeah, it is. He goes out and makes the catch. So 3 up and 3 down on the pop-up. Good play by second baseman Miguel Leon. Yeah, that's good. I mean, and it's good. It shows that they liked you, that you were their coach, and they still, say. But some coaches would have made them run like suicides and stuff, and they would have said,
I'm not going to go see him.
I'm not
So
going to
Patricia Colangelo is actually a student at John Carroll Senior, so she came in to support the game. And Lacey Pierce is the daughter of the gentleman I was talking to you,
Yeah.
Ben Pierce, that coached for John Carroll all the way up until last year. And he's very modest on. You and I found out before the game, he made it all the way up to AAA for the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah. He
And
didn't
he
wanna-
acted like that's not a big feat.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about it.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I didn't make it to AAA of any sport.
Well, yeah. I was going to say I enrolled in AA, but that's not true. I don't want to even make that lame joke. So looks like we have a new pitcher coming in for number 9 for Fallston. Looking at my handy dandy score sheet.
So I'm right, Don. I was right twice.
Yes, and
Can we note that?
no, you've been right your entire life. I know your wife, so it proves that you were
No,
smart when
don't
you
talk
were
to
young.
her. Don't talk to her. I'm never right.
Jackson Jarkowitz. Yeah, they said, I wanted to marry Miss Right. I just didn't know I was marrying Mrs. Always Right. Yeah.
You just got every husband in the world in trouble now,
No,
Don.
I learned, being now married for, 60 years,
Right.
I learned early on that the two most important words were yes, dear. Okay? And then you could say, it was all my fault. But Ray, you have to learn to say them with sincerity. Because it can come out sort of sarcastically.
That's right.
And
Then you're
in trouble.
then you're in worse trouble.
Then you're in a lot of trouble. Speaking of in trouble, we better get to the ball
So
game.
this is our second.
Bottom-
This is our second lefty.
Yeah, bottom of the sixth inning. Let's see, is this a pinch hitter? Number 17, Nicholas Stockson. Now, yeah, he's been a young man that's been a courtesy runner during the game. So Nicholas is coming in to pinch hit.
Oh, he hit that ball well.
The line shot
Right at
in the
him.
right field. And the right fielder makes the play. That ball was hit right on the button. Landon Bell able to make the play.
Looks like Coach Seiler is trying to get more people an opportunity. If they do what they're supposed to in the top of the seventh, this could be their last at bat. So that was nice.
This is Cam Leach at the bat, coming up now, number 16. Cam has he got on a walk, flew out to left field, and then lined out to left field. Young man, again, we were talking about, who had the great, they're saying Kieran Deramick now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me, yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah, this is a young man who came in to pitch hit, got the double last time. Thank you for pointing that out.
A little low.
Deramick, who was supposed to start the game, but came up with a bit of an injury, so he's been able now to play late in the game.
Yeah, this is a tough sport to play when you're injured because it's such a ballistic sport. Like the Orioles are soft playing Gunnar Henderson because he has like an oblique type between the ribcage injury, and people were like, oh, whatever, that's not that big of an injury.
Oh, yeah.
But you're swinging a bat hard, you're throwing full force, you're pivoting on the throw.
Yeah, and the idea is that's the kind of injury that can linger.
Yes.
If you aggravate it, you could be out for a month. The idea is now just, get it well, and get back in the lineup. Besides, when you hit 6 home runs on opening day, Gunnar who?
Yep.
Brings up baseball Joey Cowden.
So you,
Joey, the leadoff hitter, he's been up now. This is the 5th time up. He's got 1 for 3 and a walk, scored 2 runs. Ray, sorry to interrupt.
I think the most common injuries in baseball, obviously elbow and shoulder to pitchers, and you do get more rib cage and strains in that area from the hard swings.
Lots of torque, developing. Benefit of myself having no muscles at all. I never pulled the muscle, so that's one good thing about being a weakling. Foul back.
Nice pitch.
It is. I tell you, I'm really impressed with baseball Joey. Joey Baseball Cowden. Again, he's the kind of guy you want on your team. He just loves the game, and said, can we practice 3 hours, coach, today?
Yeah, they're dream players for
Pop
coaches.
up. Boy, that's a high one.
Yep.
That is a rainmaker.
Yep.
Making
Boy,
the
that
catch.
came down with some angle on it too.
It did. The catch at second base. Justin slipped with the
Now
catch.
batting for the Patriots, first baseman number 23, Casey Carpenter.
Here's Casey Carpenter, the young man who hit that big mammoth home run back in the 1st inning. Got an RBI single last time up, got on an air, flew out, and had that home run. Pop foul out of play on the right side. It's one thing about playing here at Ripken Stadium, a lot of balls that go out of play, so you better have a good supply of baseballs.
See a bunch of kids just ran over there, but I don't know if it stayed in or not.
April the 4th, opening day for the Ironbirds. 2001, can you believe it? 25 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember coming to
I think
the
I was
first
here.
game.
Yeah.
I sat in the dugout with Cal Ripken Jr., who was, of course, owning the team at the time, and he said, "Coach, look out there." He said, "Can you imagine this?" And he said it with just awe.
That's awesome.
Fly ball into center field.
Could be a
moving second baseman
Yep.
and the shortstop. And the shortstop will make the catch. Good job by Zach Lowy. Third out of the inning is recorded.
Well, Don, to add on to that story, it shows you that even a Hall of Fame baseball player can be proud of giving young people a chance.
You know, and the other time that I was with Cal was when they dedicated Cal Ripken Senior Field over at Aberdeen High School. Cal got $75,000 from the Players Association when he broke the record.
Right.
And he took that $75,000 and gave it to Aberdeen High School.
That's awesome.
And they built the field. And I was with him when he dedicated the field, and he had tears in his eyes, and he pointed to the hill on the other side at Aberdeen, and he said, "When I was a kid, I watched my dad walk over that hill to come see me play." Now, remember, his dad was in spring training a lot, so it was only very seldom he was able to do that. And he said, "I never played well when my dad was here because I wanted to do so well in front of him." And he was dedicating that field. If you go to Aberdeen High School, look in right field, you'll see on the scoreboard, Cal Ripken Senior Field.
Yes.
And that was donated, the scoreboard, the lights, and the accoutrements to the field donated by Cal Jr. The Ripken family here in Aberdeen is, you want to talk about royalty,
Yes.
nobility. The Ripken family who were in Aberdeen, they made enough money, they could have moved anywhere.
Yes.
They lived in the neighborhood where Cal grew up.
Walking distance at high school.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were the kind of people you saw in a store. You know, they were just, there was no pretense about them. Just a wonderful family.
Very modest. Vi was very involved with the Boys and Girls Club here in Aberdeen.
Oh, and one thing I should mention, later this year, we're going to do the Aberdeen Fungo, Battle for the Fungo, Aberdeen versus Haverty Grace. An old Fungo bat of Cal Ripken's saved by, by Haverty Grace in Aberdeen. And each year they play a game for the who's going to get the Fungo.
I remember that, Don, from doing a game for you a couple years ago when that game happened. That's a neat tradition.
Oh, it's a great, great thing they do. Number 15, this is Justin Slip, the second baseman. Line shot, shortstop has it. And the throw to first base, and there's your slide into first base.
He just thought it was fun. He has a smile on his face even though he's out.
Drew Jordan to Casey Carpenter. The out is recorded. That ball was hit hard.
Yes. Don, did he slip? You've been waiting for that?
Say again?
Wasn't that Justin Slip?
It was Justin Slip, yeah. Justin Slip, the sophomore, is now 0 for 3. He did score. He got on a walk.
So he is obviously a player that loves that scrappy part of the game because even though he got out, he was all smiles when he was looking at his teammates in the dugout coming back.
Lucas Santora now the batter, number 3 in the lineup, the ex-John Carroll Patriot, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Boy, what a great feeling. You like to win the game, but obviously you got to be happy that you did well. And there's a ground ball to shortstop, fielded neatly. What a nice stop by the shortstop. Good play by Drew Jordan, and Jordan makes the throw to first baseman Casey Carpenter.
He had 2 different type of throws there. He had that last one was a throw on the run coming in. And it's very important that he made his last step with his non-dominant foot, left foot step, right foot throw. That helps that accuracy a lot.
Reese Conley, the last possibility for Fallston. By the way, Drew Jordan, we didn't mention, headed for Frostburg State next year. He is a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes at John Carroll. So a young man who, has his head on straight and has his priorities beyond just being, a high school student. Very impressive.
Yes, and it's funny, I played against some Conleys at Fallston High School way back in the dinosaur days, and I'm wondering if there's any relation. Fought that off.
Conley, the batter you're speaking of?
Yes.
Yep. Reese Conley. Could be, yeah. And of course, we had the Connollys in Aberdeen. George Conley, the late great George, and his brother Charlie. This is Conley, Conley. Swung on this. Conley scored that first run of the game for Fallston. Remember, he got the double and got to third base, had been picked off, avoided being tagged. Wild throw, he was able to score from third base. Foul back.
Could be down to our last strike of the game here, Don.
By the way, I think we do have a new pitcher also. This is Zach Olszewski, who's pitching now for John Carroll. So I think that's the fourth pitcher we've seen for the Patriots.
7 pitchers total in this game.
You can see the John Carroll bench. You can't, but we can, up on their feet. Fly ball. Third baseman moving on it. And third baseman has it for the catch. That's the third baseman is Will Ryan, who makes that catch. And that will bring the game to a conclusion. 3 up and 3 down on the pop out. Final score, the John Carroll Patriots win it by a final score of 12-4, a game that was 6-0 after the first half inning, then close at 6-4, and then the Patriots rallied to make it now an easier 12-4 win. Ray Ruse, just a great night here, the Josh Hamer Memorial baseball game. They've done it 8 years now since Josh unfortunately, tragically passed away, the 15-year-old, but they've kept his memory alive. They raise money, they give out scholarships. I'm just so impressed by what they're able to do, talking about Coach Seiler at John Carroll and the entire John Carroll group to keep his memory alive.
Without a doubt. And it was very, very clean played, well played game, Don. I mean, even the so-called couple errors were like really hard hit balls, tough plays.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with both teams' defense. John Carroll just seemed to have the better of the hitting team.
Yeah, and remember John Carroll, as we talked about, having all their starters back, having played 15 games already. Fallston with no starters, 1 starter back. They played only 5 games. So Fallston is the kind of team that I think during the year you're going to see them get better and better.
Yes.
And John Carroll playing in the MIAA conference. Look out. They've already defeated Gilman. They took them 2 out of 3. I think that the MIAA conference, they better be aware because this team is deep. They're good. They're good hitters. They got good pitching. I'm impressed.
I am too.
Ray Ruse, it has been a pleasure. Thank you, all the folks here that made this possible. Thanks to HarfordTV for allowing us to come here to Ripken Stadium and do this game. Thanks to both coaches. Thanks to both organizations. It's been a wonderful night. Our final score, 12-4. Ray Ruse. Let me try. Ray Ruse?
Correct.
So glad to have you with me here tonight. You'll be good, and we'll see you again very shortly on HarfordTV. Don Morrison, Ray Ruse. Good night, everyone.